Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Welcome in on a Thursday. Glad to be here. It's a football Thursday, the first NFL football Thursday of the year. Yes. As that's what Nate, you said. That's they made that song for Madden. We have found, so it is very appropriate.
I believe they did. Yeah,
I can't find it anywhere else, and we played it the other day, and it was completely clean. So it definitely tracks, and
seems
so
like it.
That might have to be our soundtrack, as it already kind of has become. Might just have to be our football soundtrack for the year. As we are officially I guess not officially underway. I guess I could say that tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow, the plan is still for one Alan Stiles to be in studio, coming back, I should say, from his vacation, the only human who comes back from vacation on a Friday. But we appreciate it. It's been a fun week. It's been a long week for sure, but we are now here. We have gotten to the other side of the rainbow. Football is here. You got Chiefs, you got Ravens. There's nothing more you could really ask for. I think last year the opening game was that Chiefs-Lions game, and of course the Lions surprised everybody to an extent. I think the Lions definitely had a certain level of hype going into last year, but this year there's nothing more you could really ask for. It's a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson, like I said during the crosstalk, has only beaten Patrick Mahomes once in his entire career. Going to look to exercise some demons. I mean, and the Chiefs are, they're probably not too stressed. I mean, again, they lost week 1 last year, and we saw how the season ended for them. So I'm sure they're of course, really excited to get things going tonight, but this is not where you're going to win the Super Bowl. So this might be a bigger game for the Ravens, and you might see that in the scoreline. It wouldn't surprise me. Again, the Chiefs know it's not about winning week 1. It's about peaking at the right time. And a team like the Ravens, this game means infinitely more for them. For them to start the season how they ended the season last year, if they were to lose tonight, you can imagine that's going to leave a pretty bad taste in your mouth. It's going to have you thinking throughout the entire season, okay, we clearly have a mountain to climb. And even then, there's going to be a test at the end of that climb, and it's going to be the Chiefs. And you're, again, going to have to be faced with the reality of possibly if you lose the opening week, you haven't beaten them in a while. And you don't want those feelings going into what could potentially be your biggest matchup of the year later on in the season. So wouldn't surprise me if the Ravens really look to execute better tonight. They obviously in the first weeks of the NFL season, especially with how the preseason is handled nowadays, could get a little sloppy. Could get last year we saw Kadarius Toney drop like 3 balls, which wasn't just an opening night thing, but just really was a sign that these guys, need some time to kind of get into form. And wouldn't surprise me if the Ravens try and out-execute the Chiefs tonight. The Chiefs are more loaded at receiver than they've been in the past. They're not going to have Hollywood Brown out there tonight, but they will have their rookie Xavier Worthy, who I think everybody, myself included, of course, is excited to see. We'll see. I mean, and we'll talk about it more in about 10 minutes here. We'll lay out the full Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes debate and everything that goes into it, all the numbers, all the stats, and all the things that the Ravens are going to try and overcome this season, because it's going to be a big year. Don't forget, later on in the show, we have our Deion Cole giveaway. That'll be in the 1 o'clock hour. We gave away a pair of tickets yesterday, gave away a pair of tickets the day before that. Really excited to get into some of this Keon Ellis audio. Keon Ellis joined Deuce and Mo, friends of the show, friends of the station, on their podcast over the weekend, and we're going to play some of that audio. Really good stuff from Keon as he talks about what makes De'Aaron Fox so difficult to guard. Has some really just high praise for De'Aaron Fox. Talks about who he thinks is, besides De'Aaron Fox, the hardest player for him to guard in the league. Might surprise you a little bit. I think it's I think people who really, really care about the craft of basketball, it might not be that tough of an answer to figure out, but it might not be the one that you're expecting. And he talks about his favorite play of his NBA career so far. That one also might not be a tough one to figure out. If you just think of the biggest plays that Keon has made in his career and the biggest moment, I guess, that he's been in and shined and thrived, you might not be surprised to find out what the biggest moment Keon thinks of his career so far has been, and why he's got the right attitude about it, too. He's got such a great attitude, and that's the thing that really came through in that interview, which, of course, definitely recommend going and listening to that when you're done with us today. And by the way, huge guests for the Drive guys this week. They unveiled the top 40 Kings of all time. Sacramento Kings of all time. And Jay Johnson, super producer, has gotten them some of the names off that list. They had Mitch Richmond yesterday, by the way. We're going to play that full interview at about 12:30. So if you missed that yesterday, Mitch Richmond finishes number 2 on the list. We got to hear what Mitch had to say. He had some really, really good things to say about his outlook for the Kings this season, thinks that they can really put it together. And he had really, really fond things to say about one DeMar DeRozan. So you're not going to want to miss that again. We're going to replay that interview at 12:30. It went for about a half hour, so it might take a couple segments. But you're definitely going to want to hear that. And then later today at 2:30, the same time you were able to hear Mitch yesterday, they have one Jason Thompson, the Sacramento leader in games played. He's joining the Drive guys at 2:30. And then at 3, another member of the top 40 list, Lionel Simmons, will be joining the Drive guys at 3 o'clock. So
L Train.
You definitely aren't going to want to miss that. Again, the Drive guys having on Jason Thompson and L Train, Lionel Simmons, 2:30 and then 3 o'clock. Definitely don't want to miss that. The Drive guys absolutely doing their thing. As you know, I had the thought this morning, and we'll get into Matt Chapman's extension with the Giants, and is that a good idea? Also, of course, I'm going to have to leave some on the plate there because our guy Alan Stiles has some thoughts about the Giants in that direction. We really haven't touched much on the Giants these past couple weeks because, frankly, their season has kind of gone how it went the entire year. They're just floating around 500 and doesn't look like they made any sort of playoff push right at the deadline. That whole thing was supposed to be that the Giants were selling and buying at the same time, bringing in Mark Canha, selling off Jorge Soler. And I was told that the Giants had the easiest schedule post All-Star break. Doesn't look like it helped much. So yeah, gonna spare some thoughts there and leave some for Alan and I to talk about tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Kings front, I had a thought this morning that September 30th is media day. We're sitting here on September 5th. It's close. Okay, I know we made fun of Alan a couple weeks ago because he was like, the NBA season's right around the corner. It's like, okay, well, we're still like 2 months out. Now, I mean, we get through this weekend, we're sitting at 2 weeks away from media day. And that's just absolutely insane. I mean, I've started to see pictures Malik Monk posted yesterday. He's out in Sacramento. Obviously, Keon Ellis doing that interview with Deuce and Mo. He's in Sacramento. By the way, at around noon, we're going to have news of where De'Aaron Fox is going to be spending his next week and a half leading into training camp. That might surprise a couple of you people out there. It kind of ties into what we were talking about yesterday when it comes to De'Aaron and that new sneaker that's getting released. That's all the tease I'll give you for that one. We're going to talk about that more towards noon. And then, yeah, me and Nate are going to do what we promised we would do yesterday for those who tuned in. Rookies and second-year quarterbacks. There's 10 of them. Where do they fall this year? How do we think the C.J. Stroud, the Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Where do we see them finishing this year? Of course, spoiler alert, I assume CJ Stroud, unless, who knows, maybe Nate's got Caleb Williams as number one. We know Nate's infamous for his quarterback list. We'll see how that goes. That's going to be in the 1 o'clock hour. And then, of course, to close out the show today, we're going to preview Ravens Chiefs. Because can't wait. Can't wait. And, the Drive Guys will have a little bit of an abbreviated show today because of Thursday Night Football, which will air right on these airwaves. Sacktown Sports 1140. You can hear every Thursday Night Football game this season, as long as there's no Kings conflict, of course. Right here, Sacktown Sports. And, let's get into this Matt Chapman thing real quick. Like I said, not going to get fully in-depth on it because our guy Alan Stiles for sure has some thoughts, but just want to relay the news to everyone who maybe didn't hear it as it did break. I think at like around 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock last night. It was late news for Matt Chapman. But third baseman Matt Chapman and the Giants agreed to a 6-year, $151 million contract extension late on Wednesday, keeping him from opting out of his current deal. For those who don't remember, Matt Chapman kind of signed a 1-and-1 deal where, very confusing. A lot of people were very, very confused as to why the Giants would sign him and Blake Snell to similar contracts like that, where essentially it's saying if you do bad this season, you're going to opt in because you might not get that dollar figure because of your bad season, which is bad for the Giants. Or you're going to play so well that the contract for next season is going to be less than your market value and you're not going to take it. So the Giants do avoid that messy situation, him opting out. Of course, Blake Snell still has that option and probably will opt out given the season that he's had so far. But Matt Chapman, you're going to avoid that with Chappie. The deal starts in 2025 and replaces the last 2 years of a 3-year, $54 million deal that he signed earlier this year. There's no deferred money. There's a full no trade clause. Sources tell ESPN the deal will expire in 2030 when Matt Chapman is 37 years old. And I think that's the big fear from Giants fans is just 37 years old and you're going to be paying him about $25 million. And right now, he's playing great. He leads the Giants in home runs, 22. He's got 56 extra base hits, also leads the Giants. Could potentially get a gold glove, which I think is really the real justification for this money is his glove is top notch and it still is. And he might get another gold glove this year. It should last a couple more years, but the batting average isn't excellent. Not really. I think it's going to probably not be a great contract, but I think it is one that the Giants kind of need to sign. They need more players like Matt Chapman. They need to raise their floor. And I do think Matt Chapman is at the very least a serviceable third baseman for the duration of this contract, if not a little bit better. So I think this is a good deal. I think I saw it's the second highest valued contract that Giants have ever given out in their history, more than the Johnny Cueto deal, just less than Buster Posey. But he's played great. He's got a 6.0 baseball reference WAR, which is 9th in the MLB. Fangraphs has it at a 4.5 WAR, which is 13th among position players. So he's played great. And obviously those defensive numbers are definitely helping lift that. But, when you look at the Giants, and this point was made by plenty of people, so I'm not breaking anything here, but if you look at the Giants farm system and their third baseman, not really much to go off of. And we know Luciano, who knows if he's probably not going to continue at short, but I think when you just look at their prospects, there's not really much from that third base side. And I think it makes a lot of sense to lock down Chapman. Now, again, is he going to be the best third baseman in baseball? I can almost say guaranteed not. Defensively, definitely might be. But I think this is a good signing for the Giants. And, it's we'll see. I don't think Farhan's going to be there to outlive the contract. But, it is at least a good sign that both of the last-minute signings that the Giants had with Matt Chapman and Blake Snell both worked out for them. Coming up in about 2 minutes here, we're going to lay out the full Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. And we're going to ask the question, does Lamar Jackson seem to have a Patrick Mahomes problem? We talk about that next right here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at marysvillestampede.com.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's been about 7-8 months since we've last had football. Early February? And what happened a week before 2 weeks before the Super Bowl? Well, we saw this very matchup that we're going to see tonight. You had the Ravens, you had the Chiefs. Ravens coming off a big win to put them in the AFC Championship game. A lot of people feeling like, hey, Lamar wins his second MVP. You know, Chiefs, not really the team that they had looked, the world beaters that they had looked like in the past. They had the Taylor Swift and everything like that going on in the background. People wondered, is this going to be the Ravens' year? It was not. And it was not a high-scoring game. It was up for grabs there. Ravens fell short 17-10. And as we know, the rest is history. The Chiefs go on to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes gets his third. And now they're on the way to a three-peat, potentially. But it all starts tonight. All starts tonight as the Ravens take on the Chiefs. 5:20, NBC, prime time. Getting that good music. It's Thursday, but it's going to be on NBC. So I don't know if that's they haven't changed it up, right? Thursday is supposed to be Amazon, isn't it? So I don't know if it's probably just because it's opening night that they're doing it on a little special broadcast on NBC, but should be a good one. I mean, there's no reason why it won't be. Again, from the Chiefs side, all I've seen is Hollywood Brown's going to be out. Seems like everybody else going to be good to go. The Chiefs didn't have Chris Jones in their first game last season because he was in a holdout. So it seems like they're ready to go. And hopefully Lamar is ready to go because I think a lot of people he's now lost the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the MVP. I kind of think it's going to be one of these things where, unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt or frankly, unless Lamar Jackson just shows head and shoulders that he's at a different level and has elevated, frankly, to a Patrick Mahomes level. And I think that's going to be mainly with his throwing ability. He's got to get better throwing the ball. He's got to be better in situations, frankly, like they were in the AFC Championship. You're down 7 points. Can you win those games? And I think until he proves to be one of those kind of quarterbacks, if he leads the NFL or is towards the leading in the NFL and comeback wins, if he starts putting up some crazy throwing stats on top of his running stats, of course, it can't be without, because that's what makes Lamar Jackson Lamar Jackson. You can't just, blanket say, oh, no, you need to be a better passer. And then he becomes for the most part, a strictly pocket passer. And, then be like, oh, yeah, but he's not as good of he's still got to run. He's got to be him, but he's got to be a little bit of a better version, I think, for him to win an MVP. But frankly, I don't think that's what Lamar Jackson cares about anymore. He's got to win a Super Bowl. He's got to get over or at least get over the hump of beating Patrick Mahomes. He's got to at least be able to get there.
Is this comparable to Joel Embiid?
It's close. It is close to like an Embiid, Jokic kind of thing. Where, yeah, I mean, you know, I think people are like, yeah, Joel, we get it. You're really good, but you're also always hurt in the playoffs. And that's not the case with Lamar. But again, similar as in Joel can't get through a certain stage in the playoffs. And it seems like Lamar can't get over this hump. And yeah, I mean, I think it's really similar. This is the first showdown between two multiple-time MVPs that are both under 30. So you have that to look forward to. But again, Lamar Jackson, 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes in his career, which is tied for the 5th most lopsided rivalry between MVP award-winning quarterbacks who have played each other at least 5 times. So how's that for a potential cherry pick stat? Who are the others? Well, this is kind of crazy. Patrick Mahomes, again, 4-1 against Lamar Jackson. Cover your ears, Niner fans. Brett Favre, 4-1 over Steve Young. Kenny Stabler was 5-1 over Brian Sipe. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one.
The one Steve got, though.
The one Steve got is the one that matters. And that's the thing. That's what Lamar's got to do.
Well, no, it didn't. They didn't win the Super Bowl off that. But it was the catch, too. It was TOs.
I mean, good. Right. Yeah, good enough. I mean, it was
a pretty crazy.
A pretty insane game.
No, they beat Dallas to win the Super Bowl because that 3 years in a row in the 90s, that was essentially the Super Bowl every year is what people were saying. When it was Dallas and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before our time.
Right.
I'm a historian. I mean,
that's right.
Look
at your shirt, the NFL Blitz shirt on with the Jerry Rice on it. Come on. We recognize. Dan Marino, 7-1 over Boomer Esiason. Terry Bradshaw, 10-1 over Brian Sipe. I'm gonna go with Sipe. Sipe. Not familiar. It must have been a quarterback from the 70s, 80s. And then 8-0, Tom Brady over Matt Ryan. 8-0. Obviously, could have, should have, would have been 7-1. And again, would have been a nice one to get. But 8-0 Brady was over Matt Ryan.
The one that sticks out in here on the rundown to me is that Manning Brady one that you were saying.
Right here. Peyton Manning lost his first 6 head-to-head matchups with Tom Brady. He then went on to win his next 3, but I think that's the hope for Lamar. You might have gotten me early, and can't lie, you got me in the first half. Second half, though, maybe that's where Lamar's different. But this man, Patrick Mahomes, is different. And I think that's the thing that we've seen so much, because Lamar, it's not, and I should give Lamar credit here. It's not that Lamar's been a bad quarterback at all. Him and Patrick Mahomes have the highest win percentage of any quarterbacks in the league since they joined the NFL. Jackson's 4 losses to the Chiefs, it sticks out. No other quarterback has beaten Lamar more than twice. He's won both, Lamar that is, has won both of his matchups against Tom Brady. He's beaten Joe Burrow 4 out of 5 times. That's a division rival. 4 out of 5 times. It's just Patrick Mahomes. That's it. It's the only thing that is slowing Lamar down at this point. Mahomes is 15-3 in the playoffs, obviously with 3 Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson 2-4 and never reached a Super Bowl. So this first game, like I said, it kind of represents a little bit more, I think, to the Ravens. They have to get over this hump. They cannot be afraid of this Chiefs team. And they should. I mean, we saw the Ravens absolutely demolish the Niners last year. And there was no excuses for that one, right? That was, okay, Brock, you want to win MVP, show out against the Ravens. Throws 5 picks. That was not the 3-game span in which Debo and Trent didn't play. And the Ravens look great. So I don't know what it is, but there's something about this Patrick Mahomes guy that's got Lamar Jackson's number. And something tells me the Ravens are real. This is a great opportunity. Week 1, there's no film on you. First game with Derrick Henry. It's their chance. It's their opportunity. And we'll see if they can take it. Because it's going to be a tough AFC North. We went through that yesterday. I mean, you got the Browns. You got the Bengals going to be better. Of course, the Ravens. We'll see about the Steelers. Their over-under was still at 8.5. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a big year for the Ravens. It's going to be big for everybody. You know, no one's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. And so that might tell you, hey, Maybe this is the year that the Chiefs are going to be more fatigued than they'll ever be. This is maybe the year to capitalize on the opportunity. And we'll see. We'll see. And if anybody can do it, I do have faith in Lamar. He is insane. But me and Alan have been very, very stern. And I think we have not changed that. Lamar has to be a little bit different. He's got to pass more. He's got to figure out how to make these comeback wins. He can't just be a runner. Coming up next, we talk about NFL coaches and execs predict the NFL season this year. Of course, the season's starting tonight. We'll see how many things Nate and I agree with and how many things are just absolutely insane. And also, Brock Purdy. You're going to start your franchise with him? A couple coaches and execs think so. We'll tell you more about that coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
I found out that one of my players was vaping. I brought him in and asked him, where did this stuff come from? He said, it's bigger than you think, coach. He had told me that almost everybody in my team was vaping. The next day, all the parents came in, and I said, hey, you as parents need to do your part. You guys need to figure out how, why, and when this stuff is happening, and we got to get it fixed.
Coach Sanchez and his team took vaping head on. Learn how he and other Californians are beating big tobacco at undo.org.
Hey, listen up. This is your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. First on the lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival coming September 12th through the 15th. And then rock out to Zeppelin USA at Thunder Valley on September 19th. On September 20th, laugh your heart out with comedy superstar Nikki Glazer at Thunder Valley. And the laughs keep on coming on September 21st with George Lopez when he takes the stage at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. If you're a country fan, you won't want to miss Winona Judd at Hard Rock Live on September 28th. And then on October 4th, comedy legend Rob Schneider is bringing the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. On October 20th, you don't want to miss Renee Vaca as he brings his hilarious stand-up to the Crest Theater. And finally, gear up for the ultimate Halloween bash with a $5,000 costume contest. It's Sinners and Saints Saturday at Thunder Valley on Saturday, October 26th. Costumes, music, and plenty of thrills. And that's your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. For details, go to sacktownsports.com. And stay locked on to Sacktown Sports for your chance to win tickets.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
man, Stiles Watkins for what it's worth. Sacktown Sports. But yeah, I should correct myself. I misspoke when I said that the Chiefs will only be without Marquise Hollywood Brown tonight. Can't believe I let this one slip. This is from Adam Schefter. On opening night, Chiefs superfan Xavier Babudar was sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison. Who is Xavier Babudar? Well, Chiefsaholic, of course. For those who don't remember, the crazed Chiefs superfan who dresses up like a wolf and will wear like a visor, a Chiefs visor, and usually has like a tank top on over the wolf costume, of course. He's been been sentenced. He was already arrested. He has been sentenced to, again, 17 and a half years in prison without parole, 3 years of supervised release for committing a string of armed bank robberies across the United States.
See ya, pal.
Yeah. So, that's going to be a big piece. Chiefsaholic's not going to be out there tonight. I actually don't know if this game is going to be a home game for the Ravens or for the Chiefs, but I'm sure in a previous life, Chiefsaholic would have been there regardless. It is going to be in Kansas City, which makes sense. Of course, they'll probably have some sort of ring ceremony, I would imagine.
In the vein of Taylor Swift calling plays for the Chiefs, she also was the defendant's lawyer. She was the lawyer for the guy, for the Wolves guy, and it just didn't work out. So she's kind of a one-track mind, She can call plays, but she's not
I thought you were
going to
make a pun or no, just Taylor
it's just
Swift
Taylor Swift. We
lawyer.
got people in the building wearing Travis Kelce stuff, and it's like,
read
what?
the room.
Yeah, what are we doing? That is something in the building when there's like Lakers things up in here.
Oh,
I'm not calling out individual people.
Yeah,
but it's wrong. It's not upstairs. And upstairs, for if you don't know, downstairs in our building is salespeople.
Yeah, for the most part.
It's a different world down there. You
It's
walk
like
in.
admin and sales.
I remember the day I got hired or came in for an interview. No, hired. And I sasaw all the cubicles and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is not what and then you went upstairs and you're like, oh, here,
This is
okay,
the
this is the
radio,
cool. All right. This is because I'm scared of being an office guy. But yeah, I don't think it's very cool to have non-Niners, non-King stuff up, especially when it's direct rivals. The Lakers, the Chiefs, the Seahawks.
Right? Warriors.
I'm not cool. Warriors.
Yeah, don't
a lot of Warriors
stuff.
Yeah. In a specific room. It just feels wrong, man.
Really?
You know who I respect is Ron. Ron's a diehard Lions fan.
Yep.
I don't see any Lions stuff.
I know. Yeah, me and Ron should have beef on site. Like Ron's a Lions fan. I'm a Vikings fan. I guess it's more just like we're both hurt spirits in general, and so I guess there's not really much. We both hate the Packers, so I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But respect Ron because he's a Lions fan. Nobody bothers him about it. He doesn't bother anybody else about it. Doesn't have Lions gear or whatever. He's not in the Lions den in his office or something.
I love talking to him about it though. He's a hardcore Lions fan.
Absolutely.
And it's like how
it's
can
the only one I've ever. Well, no, I know one other big time Lions.
It's kind of like kicking them while they're down. So it's like let them enjoy. They're up. They're doing well. I didn't say anything when the Niners beat the Lions, in a pretty heartbreaking way.
The fluke to IU.
Because that being on the receiving end of that is horrible.
It's not great. Let me tell you. It's never great. You never want to hear it. But definitely some interesting decisions were made in this office today. But it's whatever. They will not be shown on camera, and so we'll try and push through. But
I'd say just pack it up and head home today. I think you did.
I think you've done enough here today. Okay, you can take a break. It's a pretty good way to get a day off. To show up in a Magic Johnson jersey or something. Moving on to The Athletic, as they tried to predict the NFL 2024 season, who will be the MVP. We'll just get that one out of the way. Patrick Mahomes got 18 of 27 votes. So there you go. We're not going to spend much time on that, especially if you're going to do something like predicting an MVP. I mean, how are you not going to select one of Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? I mean, those guys are always going to be everyone's pick. For what it's worth, one person voted Aaron Rodgers, one person voted Saquon, one Matt Stafford, one Josh Allen, 2 for Burrow, and 2 for Lamar. And again, 18 votes for Patrick Mahomes. This is the one that I thought was interesting. If you were starting a franchise from scratch, who are your top 3 quarterbacks that you would want? So obviously, everybody, you can get a first place, a second place, or a third place vote here. So there's a little bit more spread. And I think some of this is more, hey, this guy's on a rookie contract, as specifically I'm mentioning Brock Purdy, who received 2 votes and kind of is right in the middle of this poll. Justin Herbert got a vote. Dak got a vote. Jaden Daniels got a vote. Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford both received 1 vote as well. Brock's the only one who received 2 votes. Then Caleb Williams gets 5. Lamar gets 5. Josh Allen falls just outside the top 3 with 10. So the top 3 quarterbacks that coaches and execs around the NFL would start with: Patrick Mahomes, number 1, 25 votes. CJ Stroud, 16. I'm a little surprised to see Joe Burrow still standing strong at 13. Been very injury prone, especially considering the rest of this list. Got to have a lot of faith in Joe Burrow, I think, to pick him that highly over everybody else. But Joe Burrow gets 13 votes. So I think that's really interesting that teams across the league clearly are not scared of Joe Burrow's wrist in the same way that I am, aren't afraid of his calf, his knee, just to name a few things that have already been hurt in his NFL career. But, whatever. He's a great quarterback. I do also wonder a little bit, though, and Allen's brought it up a couple different times, if Joe Burrow doesn't have his cast of receivers, he's not going to have Joe Mixon there this year. Their running backs are Zach Moss and Chase Brown. We'll see how that goes. They lose Boyd, or do they lose Higgins? They lose both? No, they didn't lose both.
I believe Higgins is still there.
I think they just lost Taj Boyd.
You just brought up an excellent point, though. Something I was just shower thoughts. The NFL is just lacking running backs, like star running backs all over. Because, like you said,
fantasy draft, man.
Even Mixon is like a tier 3 guy. Like, he's never been someone that's
never
a star.
Excellent. Yeah, never excellent.
And I mean, his biggest headline is pretty negative.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
So it's not
college,
like even guys back 15 years ago, like Steven Jackson, that was like a pretty popular name.
God,
like he wasn't
Brandon Jacobs. Yeah, you just had you had a list of I don't know. Again, the only way that I can really give perspective on it is through fantasy. Fantasy draft this year, there's Breece Hall, there's Christian McCaffrey, and there's Bijan.
Even
those are the 3 running backs that you can take in the first round. Then you start doing Tyreek Hill, you start doing Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Maybe you're a tight end, Travis Kelce first round guy, AJ Brown, Saquon maybe starts to get into the list. But again, we talked about it yesterday. How much of Saquon at this point, I don't want to say is still living off the hype, but again, to your point, is Saquon like an elite running back? Can Saquon Barkley rush for 1,700 yards and 13 touchdowns in a season? I don't think so. I don't know if anybody's really that much of a bell cow back anymore. Besides McCaffrey.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know if Barkley, correct me if I'm wrong, I might just be, it just doesn't feel like this. Barkley's had an elite season. It's kind of similar to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's proven it, though, and it's different with quarterback every single time.
Yeah.
You comparison with the quarterback. But like the potential's there.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been reached, and the potential's been there since the draft. The only name you mentioned that is a superstar in the NFL is Christian McCaffrey at running back. And obviously I'm biased. I'm wearing a freaking Niners NFL Blitz shirt. But Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson are not household names.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Watching early mock drafts this year and seeing Breece Hall up there, I'm like,
it's shocking.
This is where we're at.
It's shocking.
Derrick Henry's gone. I think he was a name because he was
sure. He definitely counted.
He's I don't want to say wash because we don't know. We'll find out tonight.
He's 30. We can just say he's 30.
Yeah.
He's on the wrong side of 30, and he's already got more miles than maybe anybody has ever had at this point.
The way the man plays the game is wear and tear.
They just fed him the ball in Tennessee. He was their offense.
He was so good.
Yeah.
Still might be so.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a real lack of running back talent, and I think that plays into the contract situation with running backs and how they're essentially replaceable, which is a kind of a nasty word, but
it is what it is.
It's the way the league's trending right. There's no like Marshall Faulk. There's no it's not. No. I mean McCaffrey. It's
McCaffrey.
It's it.
McCaffrey is in a tier on his own, and then it's a bunch of really good running backs, and then it's like you said, a
handful of really good. I wouldn't even say a bunch.
Yeah,
I'd say a handful.
Yeah.
And then it's all kind of tier 3 guys,
like
just
5 to 7,
middle
max.
of the pack. There's no superstars outside of 2-3.
No. completely. And, that puts a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see how Joe Burrow can perform. Who's the league's best offensive player, non-quarterback? Justin Jefferson gets 9, Tyreek gets 8. And the guy we were just talking about, Christian McCaffrey, gets 7 votes. Trent Williams also got a vote, as did Jamar Chase. I think Trent getting a vote there is just a real, that is just a real sign of how class that dude is. I mean, he's 36, 37 years old, still gets a vote from a coach or exec for the best non-quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely amazing. Who's the league's best defensive player? Myles Garrett leads the pack with 13. Micah Parsons gets 5 votes. Nick Bosa gets 3. I think I'd probably be okay with Myles Garrett there. Myles Garrett had an insane season last year and just has been incredibly consistent, is a freak athlete. I'm okay with that. I think Micah's definitely got a good shout. I think if Bosa had a better year last year, he probably finishes higher. Which QB will deliver the best rookie season? Caleb Williams runs away with that with 18 votes. Name 3 teams that'll surprise you in a good way. Top 3 vote getters. The Arizona Cardinals finished with 7. That could be. People forget that Kyler missed the first 8 to 10 weeks of last year and really played pretty well to end the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals, no one's saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think some people say that they could at least contend for a playoff spot.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison. That's going to be huge for them. They actually have receivers. James Conner's back. There's no reason why the Cardinals, they should be at least a good offense. But yeah, we know their facilities and all their organization gets voted the worst in the NFL with all of those NFL surveys that come out from the players. Atlanta Falcons get 6. That's not hard to figure out why. And the Seattle Seahawks as well finished with 6 votes. So 2 of the 4 teams in the NFC West get votes for who might surprise you in a good way. When it comes to a bad way, who do NFL execs and coaches think? Top 3 vote getters. And if you listen to our show on Tuesday, you already know who number 1 is because Jeff Howe let us in on that a little bit early. Top 3 vote getters tied for 3rd, Jets and Bills. In a bad way, they will surprise you. Dolphins receive 7 votes. That's an interesting one. That could be house of cards potentially. If Tyreek Hill gets removed, how explosive is that offense? How much are you relying on Tua and Jalen Waddle, who's never healthy? And the number 1 vote getter, again, if you listened to our show the other day, you already know the Dallas Cowboys received 9 votes for the team that will surprise you in a bad way. 21 votes cast by NFL execs and coaches. And it should definitely be noted, 49ers just outside the top 3 with 4 of those votes. So again, the other day we talked about, seems like the Niners are starting to lose a little bit of the benefit of the doubt across the NFL. Seems like that's definitely the trend, not just with writers, but also within the league. People questioning, is that window, is it closed? I don't think so. I just don't, especially with how they've locked everybody up here, man. I just don't see Debo's might not go in. They're going to keep one of Debo or Ayuk, right? If not both. We just assume that it's going to have to be one sacrificed. Trent gets signed. We know Christian McCaffrey is going to be here. At least they're on the offensive side. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Bosa gets a deal last year. Hargrave, has 1 more year left on his deal, if not 2. They should be fine. They should be fine at least for the immediate. We'll see about 4 or 5 years down the line, but can you predict anybody 4 or 5 years down the line? If there's anybody who could predict something 4 or 5 years down the line, I would pick Joe Mazzulla because this dude is just full of knowledge. He's full of great quotes. And we're going to play some of Joe Mazzulla's greatest quotes because he is, again, my favorite coach in the NBA. He's absolutely insane. The man is obsessed with basketball, with winning. And yesterday he was on a Celtics podcast, and he just added to the Joe Mazzulla lore of some of the best quotes that you will ever hear. We'll play that for you next, right here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Welcome to Staples. My son's teacher emailed his back to school list. He needs crayons and notebooks.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find low prices on tons of school supplies and all in stock.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez. Might I suggest 2 carts?
Staples has everything for school in stock and priced low. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and 2-pocket poly folders are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14, in-store only, limit 10 while supplies last.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are going to be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Farmally.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I just love my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. I used to have a Tesla for a number of years, but it felt like I was sitting at the kids' table. When I got my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I finally felt like I had made it. I was sitting at the adult table. If you don't believe me, go test drive one for yourself. As soon as you hop in, you'll notice the comfort, the luxury, just the overall feel. Make the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins. For those just joining, thank you so much. We got a great show for you today. We're about to get into a little Keon Ellis half hour as we have audio from Zach Lowe talking about Keon and what he likes about Keon and definitely has some really cool things to hear if you're a Sacramento Kings fan. Then we hear from Keon himself as he was sitting down with Deuce Mason and Morgan Reagan. Friends of the program, friends of the station. And, they talked about it all. They talked about De'Aaron Fox, what makes him so difficult to guard, who is, in Keon's opinion, the toughest guy to stay in front of, and Keon's favorite play from his career so far. Great stuff there. Definitely want to listen to that. And then around the 12 o'clock hour, we're going to do some Jersey talk. I teased it during the crosstalk, but going to give you an update on where my Kings poll is at. I haven't mentioned that in a while, but I've done a little survey on my Twitter page, kind of doing the most overrated, best King, best rim protector, going on and on. I'll give you an update on where things stand. We are on day 12 of that. So we got a lot of catching up to do on that front. Also, Kings Uni Tracker on Twitter also is doing a similar thing. Yeah, of course, we just love talking jerseys. So we're going to get into what is our most underrated favorite jersey. Nate's got a printout of all the Kings jerseys. We'll talk about that as well. And then Mike Bibby potentially leaking the Kings throwbacks that they might be wearing this season. Is it true? Is it real? Do we like it? We'll talk about that more towards noon, and then again give you some information on where De'Aaron Fox might be spending his next week leading into Kings training camp. And at 12:30, we're going to run that Mitch Richmond interview from yesterday on the Drive Guys. Great stuff from Mitch. Has some really good things to say about the Kings this season and his opinions on how the Kings might finish this year. And then, of course, we're going to end the last hour of today's show pretty much just talking football, getting ready for the season, getting ready for the game tonight, and all that entails. But before we do that, let's set this thing up. So Joe Mazzulla yesterday was on Locked On Celtics, which is a Celtics podcast, daily Celtics podcast. They have one for the Kings, I hear. I hear some guy does it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Give it a listen from the Kings front. But yeah, Joe Mazzulla was on Locked On Celtics yesterday and had some really funny comments. And I was just going to play the comments itself, but I feel like you have to know in context the kind of guy we're dealing with here. Because it's a strange quote. It's kind of a cool one, I can't lie. Sounds a little John Wick-esque. But this is Joe Mazzulla. This is who he is, okay? This is some quotes. This is the best audio from one Joe Mazzulla. Derek White's in here talking about Joe Mazzulla. There's also Jason Tatum talking about some film that Joe Mazzulla likes to show them. So here you go. Before I play Joe Mazzulla's comments from yesterday, let's give you guys a good framing of who Joe Mazzulla actually really is. Here you go.
Joe, what have the last 48 hours been like for your team?
Angry, pissed.
Did you like that? Did you like
Yes.
What was going on the last couple of days?
Yes. He won Coach of the Month, and I was like, hey, congratulations. And he just looked at me and said, nobody cares.
Nobody wants to ask about all the adjustments we made from game 1 to game 2.
Joe does a great job of showing us fights, put them in a chokehold. Like they're about to tap out, and you just see the guy or the woman who's winning relaxing because they feel like they're about to win, and then you give the other person life.
Talk all the time about people that are truly obsessed with this game. They are sickos, and Joe Mazzulla is an absolute sicko.
He's a sicko, so probably.
So you contest Royce there at the end. What led you to do that, and what did you kind of see there that made you do that?
I saw a guy going in to try to get a shot, and he hadn't made one, and I didn't want him to feel good about himself going to the bench.
That one might be my favorite. That is Joe Mazzulla answering a question as to why he contested a jump shot when there was a timeout called. And as we know, players like to get a free shot in, and they'll just shoot it from 30 feet out just to, see it go through the net. Joe Mazzulla literally contested the jumper. A coach contested a player's jump shot going into a timeout. So here's Joe Mazzulla yesterday. This guy is hilarious. He's very, I'm going to use the term strange. And here's him explaining why he can't even enjoy a Broadway show because he is just, as JJ Redick put it, as Derek White put, he's just such a sicko.
Is it possible for you to watch any sort of sporting event for pure entertainment purposes, or are you always just on? You just always taking something?
We went to a Broadway show Friday night, and I was trying to study the breathing frequencies of the actors to see how quickly they can respond going from singing to talking and talking to singing. Like, you have to have an innate ability to control your heartbeat in order to go from singing to talking back to singing within a matter of like 4 seconds. And so started wondering what their recovery process is. What do they do breathing exercises? We went to no entertainment really.
So there you go. This man can't even watch a play.
He said no entertainment.
No entertainment at all. Not at all. Just getting information. Just every day is a school day. Everything is a learning lesson. This guy is a grade A sicko. And here, that is an insane quote. Just absolutely insane. But I think this one is just a little bit too intense. It's not that it's a bad quote. It's not that it's an insane quote. It's not that it's, wow, is this guy even from this planet? This one, like I said, is honestly wouldn't surprise me if you just changed the name and put John Wick instead of Joe Mazzulla. This is what he had to say about the Celtics looking to win a back-to-back title. He said, people are going to say the target is on our back, but I hope it's right on our forehead, right between our eyes. I hope I can see the red dot. Little bit intense. Little bit intense there. But it's just par for the course when it comes to one Joe Mazzulla. So as the basketball season is right around the corner, yes, I'm excited for the Kings. Yes, I'm excited for DeMar DeRozan. Yes, I am excited for playoff basketball to be back in Sacramento. But I'm honestly more excited to get some good quotes from one Joe Mazzulla. Can't wait. Can't wait at all. Coming up next, we're going to talk some Keon Ellis. Zach Lowe has some great words to say about one Keon Ellis. We talk about that next, right here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right, being chased, throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy a pallet or more of select concrete mix. And there's more. Save up to 25% when you buy a pallet or more of select drywall panels. Plus, get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at marysvillestampede.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Ken, just so excited to hear Joe Maz. Just what a coach, man. What a guy. You know, like I think I've said this before, but I do kind of like my coaches to be a little bit off the rails, you know, in the right kind of ways. Like a Jim Harbaugh, you know, like that guy's not normal. Like there's rumors of, you know, him like pouring Gatorade in cereal and things like that. Like that's the kind of coach I need. Now, would I want to play under that coach? Probably not. Probably not the most fun thing. You probably have some really good stories. But like when a dude just, I kind of do when I went back and heard the audio, all the things that we played from Joe Maz or about Joe Mazzulla, it did remind me a lot of the Connor Stallion situation. Again, the Michigan sign stealing situation. And again, can't recommend that documentary on Netflix enough, but just a guy who loves, like, the only thing he is guilty of is just being obsessed with his sport. And that's what I legitimately think Joe Mazzulla is. Of course, like, you know, not super normal to go to a play and focus on people's breathing patterns and habits and things like that. But at the same time, like you can understand how, you know, from a coaching perspective, if you are literally always thinking about how can I get an edge here, you know, there's cross training. Definitely. You know, you could imagine how, hey, I learned from, you know, the opera singers how to control your breath. And maybe, you know, when you go to the free throw line or in the fourth quarter when you're really tired, here's a technique that they gave me when you're completely out of breath, how to kind of get your wind back or something like that. I don't know. I mean, again, it's a little bit out of the box, so my brain doesn't quite connect the same dots that I think Joe Mazzulla's do, but you could see where he's thinking. And I kind of like it. You know, again, I want my coaches just constantly thinking, looking for edges. Now, it's got to come with the right balance, right? And that's where I think Harbaugh's lost some people. That's where I think, you know, like a Josh McDaniels has definitely lost some people. You can't just be hyper obsessive all the time. You do have to balance it out with a little bit of personality, with a little bit of human touch. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see how the Joe Mazzulla thing goes out. I think right now everybody in that Celtics building thinks it's fun, thinks it's quirky. But it's all good until it's not. And you can imagine how, you know, some of the conversations had could be, you know, if the Celtics, even if they do have success, but they lose year after year after year under Joe Mazzulla, you could see how maybe it's like, hey, you know, again, it was fun while we were winning. It was funny while we were winning. But when you're not winning, it could get a little annoying and be a little strange. And it's like, hey, coach, maybe instead of telling us about how, you know, Napoleon won a battle, maybe you can tell us how to properly run this inbounds play instead. You know, so I think it's fun. I think it's funny, but it wouldn't surprise me if the act gets old. But if Joe Mazzulla is the next coming of Red Auerbach, then, you know, I guess you found your guy. Because I don't know if you'll find anyone in the league who is as strange or as obsessive as one Joe Mazzulla. So there you go. That's wrapping a bow on the Joe Mazzulla thing. Now let's get into Keon Ellis. And this audio is from the Low Post, Zach Lowe's podcast. For those who are unaware, Zach Lowe, writer, NBA writer for ESPN. Really towards the top of the business, if not at the top of the business. So incredibly well respected, and always every year has an article before the season leading into the NBA season about his things to watch, things he'll be watching. He also does a League Pass power ranking, which we will definitely cover when he drops that, in which, as the title says, he ranks teams not by actual how good you think they're going to be, but how entertaining we think they're going to be. So Zach is locked in all the way across the league. He doesn't have many biases, doesn't have, any teams that, he writes about more than others. And that's why I think it means even more when a guy like Keon Ellis pops up on his radar. And he's not just like, oh, yeah, this happens across the league all the time. A Lou Dort is born for every team every year. No. Clearly, something about Keon's game stuck out and was special. And here's what Zach Lowe had to say. Zach Lowe had a guest on as well. You're going to hear his audio first, but Zach Lowe is on the back end of this audio. Here's what they had to say about Keon Ellis and how excited they are to see Keon Ellis perform this season.
Just hit me with a couple more.
All right, so the other two, Keon Ellis, I think, is one of the most interesting swing
He's on my
players in the
long
league.
list. He might make my column.
They just need him. Like, without Harrison Barnes, because he's in San Antonio, as we talked about earlier, they are in desperate need of guys who can both space the floor and defend alongside DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox in the backcourt. And Keon Ellis was that guy for them last season. He's bigger than you think. He's also 6'6", like Sharp is listed at. Shot 42% on threes last year. And while I wanted to be skeptical of that, even though he was someone I was pretty high on coming out of Alabama, shot 41% the season before in the G League. Like, everything indicates to me like this guy's a really good role player. And the name that I would very optimistically use for Keon Ellis is, can he become Kentavious Caldwell-Pope?
So he's on my list for all the reasons you just said. The Kings coaches love Keon Ellis and are very optimistic about him. I think he might be the favorite to be a starter this year to kind of win that fifth starting spot, and deservedly so. I mentioned Trey Murphy's pick and roll numbers. Keon Ellis's pick and roll numbers on higher volume, still not high for a guy his size, but in terms of something distinct from KCP, who's not really a pick and roll guy, were outstanding last season. And that may not be a skill you lean into too much on a team with Fox and Sabonis running the offense, but it's
and DeRozan and Malik Monk
and DeMar DeRozan. But there are a lot of indications that this is a more skilled offensive player than people think. Keegan Murray is another name in Sacramento that's an obvious fit for this kind of combo. All right, give me your last.
So there you go. That's Zach Lowe there. And just to go over a couple of those things, I love to hear everything indicates to me he is a really good role player. Again, not that it's a fluke. I think a lot of people have looked at Keon and said, is he really a 40% three-point shooter? It was only like 20 games that he played. Are we really going to go off of 20 games? What if it was just a fluke? Some of the best basketball minds out there in terms of writers don't think so. Don't think it's a fluke. They think it's real. Comparing him to KCP, how ironic is that? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the name that we continue to bring up on this show when we talk about the Kings following this Denver build. Can they find the KCP? Obviously, De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis do their Jamal Murray, Jokic impression. Hope is that Keegan Murray can be that Michael Porter Jr. We're looking for the Aaron Gordon. We're looking for the KCP. And if Keon can be the KCP, which is just be a 3-and-D guy, be somebody who is a high level defender. I don't think that's the part that we have questions about. It's the, can you be 38, 39, 40+% from three for Keon? Every reason to believe that he will. He did it in the G League. He did it last year. He did it, I believe, his final year in college at Alabama. Not really much reason to not think so. And I love to hear there's more reason to think that he is a more skilled offensive player than people think. I don't know. I don't know about that part. I mean, in terms of ball handling, absolutely. And I think Zach Lowe is the one that points out his pick and roll numbers and probably correctly also points out probably won't be seeing a lot of Keon in pick and roll, not because he's not great at it, but because there's DeMar DeRozan, because there's De'Aaron, because there's Malik, because there's Sabonis. In a little bit, because I think, they're going to continue to try and grow Keegan's game as well. So probably not a lot of opportunities for Keon to even display that. But I could see it. His ball handling has definitely improved from the first time he kind of stepped on the floor for Sacramento. His shooting, I won't say it's improved, but again, I think it's there. It's believable. The attacking the rim stuff is the part that we haven't seen, right? We haven't really seen. He's, again, a little bit of a frail frame. Seems to have gotten much bigger during the offseason, but can he finish amongst the trees? I don't know. I don't know that part. Can he develop a floater game? I think we saw some of it last year. Not enough to really 100% believe that it's going to be there, but I'd love to hear it. Just Sacramento Kings players aren't talked about in this capacity. The Kings don't stumble upon these kind of hidden gems. And it's great to hear from really big NBA writers at the Four Letter Network. They believe in Keon Ellis. Should be the favorite to start, Zach Lowe says. I agree. I think it makes tons of sense. It's right there. It's right there for Keon. And we just learned the other day that Kevin Huerter is not really going to be officially back until about October. That gives Keon Ellis a little bit of a runway to get the early spot and not give it up. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if opening night, it's not even a question by that point that Keon's going to be the starter. So I love to hear that. Love to hear people talk about Keon. Not just people either. Very, very well-respected basketball minds. Speaking of basketball minds, we have the basketball mind in Deuce Mason and Morgan Reagan, of course, the one who's really doing all the work on that program. We have them talking with Keon. So we get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Keon Ellis talking about De'Aaron Fox, what makes him so tough to guard. Who is Keon's hardest guard? And what is Keon's favorite moment of his NBA career so far? We'll let you know. We'll play the audio coming up next right here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Thank you. Good night.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich.
Be the difference.
Dasha.
Did your boobs stop working?
And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Talking about Keon Ellis here. Just played some audio of Zach Lowe talking about why he's so excited to see Keon Ellis play this year. Says that the Kings coaching staff is incredibly optimistic about one Keon Ellis. I think we already kind of knew that. But again, that might be a really good indication that, again, it might be Keon's job to lose when it comes to that small starting shooting guard spot. You know, I think it's if we just try and figure out, where is Keon going to play? If he's not starting, what is his role going to be coming off the bench? It's going to be severely reduced, obviously. He's not going to get 20 minutes off of the bench. Maybe if he starts, he can get 20 plus, but if he's coming off the bench, you're really just bringing him in as a spark plug defensively, a little Energizer bunny, just kind of hoping to create chaos for about 15 minutes a game. I could see it. I just think it's going to be more impactful from the start. If you can lock down defense, if you can set the tone, which is something I think the Kings struggled with a lot last year, is they didn't dictate the physicality until really late in the season. But if they can dictate from the start of the game, no. We're going to have Keon Ellis picking you up full court, or at least half court, from opening tip. And good luck stopping De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis the first 7 minutes of the game. The Kings, hopefully, I think their hope is to get up, as it is with every team, but I think the plan is, hey, yeah, throw the junkyard dog on them, throw Keon out on them, and then just get out early. DeMar is a bucket. De'Aaron, use that speed early, which is funny because we're going to play some audio that has that in a second. We know Sabonis likes to go to work early in the games too. I think it's just getting the most efficient start possible. And then, of course, we got to figure out the third quarter too, which maybe, again, that helps too. Keon starts the third. Again, right attitude, starting the intensity right off second half. You could see it. Again, you could just lean fully into the offense, start Malik, maybe start Kevin Huerter. But I just think it makes more sense role-wise. I think you're maximizing everybody a little bit more if you start Keon. Kevin Huerter is going to come in and shoot anyway. That's what he's going to be there to do. I don't think he's most efficient coming off the bench. It's probably a little bit more of a gunner role for Kevin Huerter if he's coming off the bench. Better make sure he's making shots if he's going to be coming off the bench. But I can see it. I don't know. We'll see. We're not that far off. We're not that far off from finding out. And you know what? We just found out too from one Keon Ellis what makes De'Aaron Fox so hard to guard. We all know he's incredibly fast, but what is it like to actually be across from De'Aaron Fox, as Keon Ellis is frequently during practices? Here's Keon describing what exactly makes it so difficult to stop a guy like De'Aaron Fox.
A guy like Fox, he's not really going to kill you from the three, but he will if you give him enough space. But the thing is, though, he's fast as shit. So, you can give him space and he will still find a way to blow by you. A lot of guys you can't guard one-on-one, but it's say a LeBron or a Giannis. When they're coming downhill, it's let's build a wall and we need to stop them. But it's the exact same for a De'Aaron Fox. Any transition one-on-one, you're not stopping it. He hit a Euro one time. Oh my God. He Euro from left to right, but then jumped back left. But the defender jumped. It was crazy. I'm like, yo, this is some top of the line stuff. He'll slow it down and then he'll speed it back up. And it's like I said, especially for guys who don't want to guard, you're not going to react to that.
There you go. You really can't put it better than that. And again, I can't recommend enough. Go listen to Keon sit down with Deuce and Mo. Just the definition of an open conversation. They're just talking hoops. It's not really much of an interview as it is just people who love basketball talking basketball. And I think it's great. And I love to hear Keon describe there so perfectly, so well, what makes De'Aaron tough to guard. Him comparing De'Aaron to Giannis and LeBron, I love it. I've never heard anyone say it before, but it makes sense. As those guys use their physicality to get to the rim, De'Aaron's speed is equal to their strength. I really think it is. I think it's that special. That in the same way that you can't just, Keon describes building the wall, right? You got to build a wall in order to, just a wall of bodies that they have to crash through. And that's the only way you can stop De'Aaron. Because Keon kind of spills a secret there that nobody's really trying to defend like that. Maybe if it's a very key possession, you're going to give your 100%. But it's not even just the straight 0 to 100 speed. And we've heard De'Aaron talk about this specifically when it comes to adapting his game. It's not the 0 to 100. It's the 0 to 75 to 25 back up to 75 that he talks about. It's the, okay, I'm keeping up with him. Okay, wait, he just hit me with a little hesitation. Now I'm on my heels. And by the time he's ramping back up to go full speed again after the hesitation, I can't react fast enough. And that's what makes De'Aaron so lethal. And I'd love to see it more. I'd love to see it more. But I do think it's really interesting to hear it described in a Giannis, in a LeBron kind of tier in the same breath. And then that Euro step he's talking about, for those who don't remember, that was on one Kyle Kuzma. He hit this nasty, I've never seen anybody do this before. But he goes outside foot, inside foot, so his right leg plants right outside the charge circle. And then normally you'll see people kind of go that direction with the layup. The crossover move is really the step from left to right. But De'Aaron's cross-up move in that Euro was really the plant from the right into the air. He goes over to the left side. And it's incredible. I mean, you can find it somewhere on the internet. I'm sure if you just type in De'Aaron Fox Euro step, it'll pop up on YouTube. But it's special. It's really, really special. So there you go. There's Keon talking about De'Aaron and what makes De'Aaron so hard to guard. Coming up next, in the next segment here, we'll tell you who Keon says, besides De'Aaron Fox, is his toughest matchup. And also, what's been Keon's favorite play? What has been his favorite moment of his NBA career so far? The answer probably won't surprise you, but it's really good to hear him break it down and exactly the mentality that he has after hitting the night-night on one Steph Curry. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. We play that next right here, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some R-E-S-P-E-C-T, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. We're just talking some Keon Ellis here. Played some audio from Zach Lowe talking about Keon and how excited the Kings staff is and how excited Zach is to see Keon play this year. Says wouldn't be surprised if Keon's the 5th starter on this team, of course, taking that starting shooting guard spot. We're going to get into some more Keon Ellis audio here in a second. We're also going to tell you who Keon says is the toughest guy for him to guard in the league. But I want to let you guys know that in about an hour, we'll be rerunning the Drive Guys interview yesterday of Kings legend, to put it lightly, Mitch Richmond, voted number 2 on the 40 best Sacramento Kings of the Sacramento era on the Drive Guys show. They did that poll last week. If you missed that, you can check out our wonderful website, sacktownsports.com. We got that full list up over there. You can also find the interview with Mitch Richmond over there as well, as you can also find it on our YouTube channel, sacktownsports.com. youtube.com/sacktownsports 1140. So yeah, we got a full show. And then, yeah, me and Nate are going to be going through who we think will be the best of the first and second year quarterbacks. That's going to be at 1 o'clock, where we obviously are going to get you all ready for tonight's action. Chiefs, Ravens. Football is back, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. But let's get into this Keon Ellis. Let's get back into this Keon Ellis talk. As Keon was also asked on the Deuce and Mo program, who he thinks is the toughest guy for him to guard. And Keon's answer, again, might not surprise you if you're somebody who's really into the craft of basketball and dribbling and all that stuff. He said Kyrie Irving. He said Kyrie Irving is probably the toughest to guard. For me, what concerns me most is guarding guys who can shoot from deep. If you can shoot the three at a high rate, it's like, dang, now I have to press up and I really can't rely on my wingspan. So there you go. Keon may be giving a little bit too much tea there. I don't want the scouting report. I don't want him, telling everybody what the scouting report is on him. But there you go. He says if you can shoot the three at a high rate, it's like, damn, now I got to press up and I can't rely on my wingspan. Well, it's funny that he says he struggles to guard guys who shoot the three at a high rate, because Keon, and we're about to play the audio here, Keon said that his favorite play of his career so far went against the ultimate high-rate three-point scorer in Steph Curry in that playing game. Here's what Keon had to say about his favorite play so far in his career.
I might have to go with the Steph Curry.
Yeah!
Play. I mean, that anytime I can just completely, if someone crosses and I can just pluck it, that's top of the line. Nothing gets better than that. Do you think about he's coming to get me next year? Oh, I mean, honestly, people on the staff were like, you sure you want us to post it? I'm like, I don't care. It don't matter to me. If he comes out and cooks me, Stephen Curry. But I have that preparation going into every game.
Love that. Love that mentality for Keon. Says his favorite play was stripping it from Steph Curry, just man-to-man, mano-y-mano. straight strips it in front of his face. It wasn't one of those, oh, he blows by me and I just kind of reach around and tip the ball out. No, it was straight up. He's guarding Steph, facing him eye to eye, and Keon just strips it. And he's right. Like, there's not many better feelings than that. To just straight up read somebody, especially Steph, who probably is thinking, oh, this rook, they're going to put this guy on me. Cooked. He's cooked. And for Keon to really, just cement his name in there, in that game. The defense, he hit a couple threes. Game of his life. And then the mentality for me is the thing, right? Is him saying, I don't care about the night-night picture. I don't care if that circulates. I don't care if Steph has a little something extra for me. That's what I prepare for. I hope you're going to give it to me 100% every night. And Keon's ready. I mean, you love that. Now it could just be all talk, and it could be different when Steph Curry brings that into Keon's kitchen. But, it is what it is. Even if it does happen, who cares? Right? Like, that's the mentality you have to have, is I'm in front of this guy. I can stop him. We're both in the NBA. We both walk on the same floor. Put our shorts on one leg at a time, okay? And so I love it, and I think Keon also talked about the Jalen Brunson moment. We don't have that audio, but he talks about, the moment where Jalen kind of confused him for the game winner in Sacramento, got him to turn around, make him think that a screen's coming. It wasn't. Jalen Brunson then just blows by him as Keon's looking around. But I think that seriously does help in your career. Like, that's pretty much the worst thing that could possibly happen, with the stakes being pretty low, obviously, just a regular season game. But if you can get through that, yeah, Steph Curry cooks everybody. So if he cooks Keon, and it's specifically because he hit the night-night on him, he's ready, and he's fine. He doesn't care. What, is Keon's career over then? No, and I love to hear that. He's not afraid, and it's the right mentality to have. And I think it's great for the Kings to have a defender on their team that has that mentality. And I think Keon's going to be it, man. I really do think Keon Ellis is completely legit. I think the defense that we see is completely legit. I think the 40% from three, I don't know if he's going to do that every single year, but I do think he's a shooter. I don't think he is these Thabo Cephalosha, Andre Robertson, 34% three-point shooters, and you're just hoping that they can hit a couple in a game to keep them on the floor. I think after, Mo Harkless and KZ Okpala kind of flamed out, I think the Kings finally have gotten their 3-and-D guy in Keon Ellis. And I think he should start. Like I said, I think it makes all the sense in the world. Why not? The Kings need some defense in that lineup, and you could just throw him out there. And I think he's going to be ready for the moment. I think Keon's been preparing all summer to get better as well. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Keon Ellis is going to look like. He could really be the Kings X factor this year. I think Keegan Murray's probably the number one pick, maybe Kevin Huerter, number one pick. But again, that really speaks to the Kings' depth for a minute here. We're not talking about Domantas Sabonis. We're not talking about De'Aaron Fox. Not talking about DeMar DeRozan. Not even really talking about Malik Monk. Those three X factors are a lot better than where most guys are. The Kings 5 through 7 players in Huerter and Keegan and Keon, and we don't know what Devin Carter is going to be. That's a really solid 7. And not many teams go that deep. And if Keon's going to get better, if Kevin Huerter is going to have a better season than what he had last year, which would be tough to have a worse one, and if Keegan's just going to continue to be who he is. We talked about it yesterday. I don't know if Keegan can go from 15 points to 17 with the amount of mouths that they have to feed in this offense. But I think even if he's 15 to 16 a game like he was last year, but the efficiency goes up, that's another weapon. That's a better Keegan Murray than we had last year. And we're talking about at best your fourth guy. And then who knows if Malik, it'd be tough to imagine Malik Monk doing better than 15-5. But again, if he can do it again, if he can do 14-5, 14-4, shoot, even 13.5. It's a really good team the Kings have here. How many guys are going to finish in double figures in scoring? I'm just very excited. I'm very excited for how this season's going to go. They talk about it during the interview with Keon, but I think the Kings are being underrated this year. I don't know how much. I'm not out here going to say Kings should be talked about, with the OKCs, with the Minnesotas. I guess Dallas is now in that tier as well. I'm not putting Denver in that tier. I'll tell you what. I cannot be more, in terms of top level, out on the Denver Nuggets. They lose KCP. Jamal Murray had one of the worst summers a superstar has had in a while on the floor when it comes to his Team Canada performance. Michael Porter Jr. has been healthy. Honestly, that's the most concerning thing for when it comes to Michael Porter Jr. on the floor. Off the floor, a lot of concerns. But yeah, on the floor, I mean, he's been very healthy. I don't really have much fear about Aaron Gordon. I think he's a great player. I think he knows his role, and I think he can do his role. But Jokic is going to have a lot of weight on those shoulders. We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. I just think as a top-tier team, I'm not really afraid of Denver like that. I think losing KCP is going to be huge for them. They're going to be relying on guys like Christian Brown now. Like, relying on those guys. Christian Watson as well. I don't know if I see it for Denver as a top. Like, I don't see why the Kings can't be a better team than the Nuggets this year. I really don't. They should be hungrier, too. Not that ultimately matters, but I think in general, when it comes to how they're going to attack the season, I think the Kings are really going to prioritize every single game. De'Aaron Fox at the end of last year talked about, well, what did I learn? Stay the hell out of the play-in tournament. And I think they all learned that lesson. I think they all thought that they could turn it on at the end of last year and they could avoid the play-in because they were the 3 seed last year. And they did feel like they were playing poorly through the duration of last year. They thought they can turn it on, that things would just click. But now, I mean, you get a guy like DeMar who, frankly takes the regular season very seriously. You can make the joke that, that's because that's all he gets. But DeMar takes the regular season very, very seriously. And I think the Kings will too. We saw Sabonis takes it more seriously than maybe anybody in the league with his double-double streak with an asterisk. I remember that Denver game, but whatever. We won't talk about that. But Sabonis shows up every single night. So I think there's a real chance that the Kings dominate the regular season relatively. 50-plus wins. I'm not afraid to say 50 wins. Anything more than that, like, I will not say 52 wins, but I don't see why the Kings can't be a 50-win team this year. It's definitely on the higher end of the win spectrum, I would say. But they're more than quality, right? Again, they go 7 deep, and not many teams do. You can say OKC for sure. Minnesota, maybe, but they're honestly more top-heavy. And they're going to be more top-heavy this year. I don't know. I mean, I do think, not just because we're in Sacramento radio here, but I really think the Kings are going to surprise some teams. I'm also just not sold on Dallas. I think they got really hot last year. Shout out to them. They made the right moves at the deadline. They earned it. They earned their finals appearance. 100%. They beat OKC. They beat Minnesota. They beat the teams that you had to beat, the best 2 teams to get over it. So I'm not saying it was a fluke. Well, I guess I kind of am. What I meant to say is I'm not saying it wasn't legitimate. But I do think that, with a full season, like we're talking about PJ Washington here. We're not talking about, Pascal Siakam. He's fine. He's a good player, but he's really not making that much of a difference. I will give Derek Lively credit. He stepped his game up huge. But I think the Sacramento Kings are just as talented. Again, Dallas is super top heavy. They got Luka and Kyrie. Both guys were incredibly healthy last year. I just think the Kings have a lot of fail safes. And I've talked about this before, but if De'Aaron Fox got hurt last year, Kings were screwed. Season over. No chance. We saw what happened when Malik went down. Season was over. This year, De'Aaron goes down. I think Malik can step up a little bit. Not fully replace De'Aaron. But you also have DeMar DeRozan, who can step up in those moments. Now, the one is Domantas Sabonis, right? If Sabonis gets hurt, I don't know if Alex Len can replicate the dribble handoffs in the same way. He'll probably be a better, defensive team, better rim protection. But this team, I don't know, would be able to survive without Domantas Sabonis. But let's say Malik even gets hurt this season. You have Kevin Huerter still. You got Keon Ellis. I think you're fine. Again, Keegan might be a tough one to replace, but even then, DeMar, you're not going to be able to replace Keegan's shooting. You're not just going to be able to find that. But I just think this team is built better to withstand injury, to withstand an 82-game season, and to really give it a go for all 82 games. I think they will, and I think they're going to surprise people. They're not going to surprise me, but I think they're going to surprise a lot of people out there with how well they play from the jump, from Jump Street. I really think they're going to take advantage. I think they're going to get off to a great start, and it's going to be all the fun that we had in the Beam Team season. And hopefully nothing like last year. As last year, as I've said, was just not fun. It just wasn't a fun year of basketball to watch. I didn't have a great time. I don't think the Kings had a great time. And I don't think anybody wants to go through what we went through last year with the losing to all those teams that are worse than us and the 6 games to the Pelicans that they dropped. I'm good off that. So here's to a new season, hopefully, of joy for the Sacramento Kings. Coming up next, we're going to get into some polls, some Kings polls. Who is the Kings' best perimeter defender of all time, their best rim protector of all time? What's the Kings' most underrated jersey of all time? And I'll tell you about a significant date that's right around the corner that could bring some really big Sacramento Kings news. I'll have all the details and more coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room, Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or team is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Now here's what I want you all to do for me.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Looks like Matt Chapman had his press conference after signing a new contract with the Giants, a new contract extension. Be a 6-year, $151 million contract with the San Francisco Giants. And Susan Slusser puts out on her Twitter page, Matt Chapman says he's already heard from players with other teams about their potential interest in playing for the Giants after he signed his 6-year extension. Don't know if I believe that. Not sure about that. Not saying anybody's lying about the reporting of it. I'm just not sure if anybody is going to stay true to their word there. A little bit of an interesting note, for sure. So there you go. There's that. Again, we will talk more about the Matt Chapman signing and extension tomorrow when Alan Stiles returns and joins us after a long vacay. I'm sure he's going to have thoughts on a lot of things. And as I asked on my Twitter page, best perimeter defender, we're getting some answers here on the Sack Chat. Not a single person said Keon Ellis as best perimeter defender. Pretty much all Doug Christie and Ron Artest. Interesting. So let's go through it. As I said, it was I don't think we've done it all week. So I have to update people on quite a bit of this basketball grid, I guess you can call it, that I've been hosting on my social page. I already told you guys most underrated, most overrated, the best and the worst Kings of all time, as voted by the Twitter audience. Most underrated was Kevin Martin. Most overrated was Jay Will. The best King of all time was voted C-Webb. The worst King of all time was voted Spencer Hawes. A lot of off-the-floor reasons for one Spencer Hawes, as he was really the leading voice within the Kings locker room for being okay with the Seattle relocation, and that's because Spencer is from Washington. He's a Washington native, so he was just hoping to get his hometown team back there, but probably wasn't the best move to rub it in the hometown team's face that you were currently playing in as you were promoting it. The funniest King of all time. I thought this was an interesting one. Malik Monk definitely received a good handful of votes. I think funny enough, Keegan Murray received a couple votes, but the winner was one Scott Pollard. The most annoying King of all time. I don't know where my personal vote would be, but I was a little bit surprised to see that Buddy Hield ran away with the most annoying King of all time. Most potential, DeMarcus Cousins. Whitey actually had a vote on that one. He said C-Webb. And I think C-Web's probably the right answer. I think a lot of people, and funny enough, the next poll was most wasted potential. I kind of feel like people viewed maybe, I mean, I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing people kind of thought, well, C-Web maximized his potential. We don't think DeMarcus fully realized his potential. But even then, I think C-Web had a little bit more meat left on the bone. Kind of isn't talked about a lot. He's kind of a bit of the forgotten forward of that era from a national perspective. But C-Web had all the talent in the world. Number 1 pick. Obviously was the star of the Fab Five. He was a big man who could pass. He could hit an elbow jumper. Was great in the post. Was a solid defender. I just kind of feel like he had a little bit more left to give. Why couldn't Chris Webber have been as good as Tim Duncan? Why couldn't Chris Webber have been as good as Kevin Garnett? You know, and it feels like those two, Dirk Nowitzki, obviously Shaq, those are the names that are brought up, not Webb. But funny enough, Webb was just as hyped, if not more hyped, than all those guys, maybe with the exception of Shaq, but even then. So I don't know. I was a bit surprised to see DeMarcus win that. I think Webb definitely has a really good shout. Most wasted potential, like I said, Tyreek Evans kind of ran away with that one. DeMarcus did receive a good handful of votes for that. I don't know who else would have really fit that. Most wasted potential in Kings history. You know, because that one's tough because you have to have, you know, Marvin Bagley, I guess, but the question could be, okay, well, how much talent was actually ever there? Was it just the second jump ability? He's not really a great shooter, doesn't really have any post moves. So was the potential just athleticism, really, when it came to Marvin at the end of the day? I think Tyreek's a good shout because obviously you have the production and you have a fall off. So there's reason to say, okay, no, this guy was somebody, was building up to be somebody else and just ended up crashing. So I think Tyreek's probably the right answer there. Best passer in Kings history, there really shouldn't have been any other option. Rondo got some votes. But it's Jay Will. I mean, it just is Jay Will. There's no argument there. He wins that one. Best perimeter defender, like I said earlier, no votes for Keon. A lot of votes for DC, a lot of votes for Artest. Meta world peace, if you will. Doug won that one. Love to see Doug Christie making the list. Best perimeter defender, best rim defender. This was a funny one because not a single person got more than 2 votes. So I had to decide. I had to make an executive decision. It was either Keon Clark, who I'm very, very fond of his game. One of the first lefties, like one of the first players that I realized, oh, this guy's different because he's left-handed. That's how I remember Keon Clark from my childhood. But was a solid defender. Was a really solid defender. Was a little bit of like a poor man's Lamar Odom in a way. In many ways. But yeah, you know, I ended up Samuel Dallenberg has received the same amount of votes as Keon Clark. I think Samuel Dallenberg is more of the traditional rim protector. So I put Samuel Dallenberg there. And that's very telling. I almost put just a silhouette of a man because honestly, the Kings don't have a best rim protector of all time. That's how bad it's been at that position. So there you go. The polls that we still have left to go, we can reveal them next week. Most athletic, best handles, best shooter, best in the post, and the best role player in Kings history. So far on the most athletic, that's the poll that I have up right now. You can go check it out at Chris M. Watkins. That's my social page. You have to submit a comment in order to vote. I don't count the likes or anything like that, just in case, you know, one Frankie Cardicelli or something posts on one of these, because Lord knows if Frankie puts a comment in there, it's going to get 70 likes. So I can't count likes. I don't want to stack the ballots in any way. You have to physically put your comment in there in order for me to count it. Right now, early returns, Gerald Wallace as the most athletic King. Malik Monk gets a couple votes in there. Dwayne Coswell got a vote. De'Aaron Fox got a vote. But it seems like Gerald Wallace is probably going to win that one. Best handles. Might be Jay Will as well. De'Aaron, I think, is a really good call for it. Malik is a really good call for it. That's probably it in terms of like who I think of when I think handles. J. Will might win that one too. He really might. Which I think would be fitting. If J. Will has the most squares, I guess, in this game, and it's best passer, best handles, but also most overrated, I think that's very fitting. I think that's fitting. Best shooter is probably going to be Buddy, maybe Keegan. I think those two will probably be the... what am I talking about? Sorry. I'm sorry. Peja, obviously. It's going to be Peja. Keegan's probably going to get some votes. I wonder if Buddy obviously gets most annoying. I wonder how many votes Buddy will get. Best in the post should probably be Webb. Might be DeMarcus, though. Could be Sabonis. Honestly, high post is still post. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. And best role player of all time, that's got to be Doug. When I think of a role player, I mean, Doug Christie just fit it so perfectly. That one should be Doug. So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of this goes down. And like I said, right now over at Kings Uni Tracker, they're doing a similar thing. They just started it yesterday. Did the most underrated Kings jersey of all time. And we talked about this, Nate. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about how you can't throw things to the internet. You can't throw things to the internet and expect them not to troll the ever-living life out of you. And Kings Uni Tracker found out the hard way. As you put the most underrated Kings jersey of all time, what else are people going to put except for the ugly gold jerseys? And that's what won. The gold jerseys get the most underrated of all time. They're trash, y'all. Get over it. It's a terrible color of gold. It's not gold even. It's like a really bad light brown.
Poopy.
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 Poopy scoopy.
Yeah.
Whoop diddy scoop. Whoop diddy scoop poop. It's terrible. It's horrible. Nobody wants it. There's no way. Like at this point, if you're rooting for the gold jerseys, you're just trolling. That's all you're doing at this point. So hopefully the Kings aren't revealing those anytime soon as any of their City Edition throwbacks or anything like that. As a matter of fact, we know they're not going to be doing it this year. And I'll tell you why we know that. Coming up at the top of the hour, you're listening to Stiles and Watkins right here, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
PGA.com Quick 9 asked readers to complete this sentence. Golf means more than a game. To me, it means... At number 9, the banter. People love the good-natured teasing that goes on. Number 8, it's hard to explain, but I don't want to be without it. Number 7, it's an obsession. I eat, drink, and sleep golf. Setting goals is next. At number 5, golf is life. It's a career for some, a passion for most, and a ticket to college for a lucky few. At 4 and 3, a place to relax and an escape. A place to feed my soul and find a peaceful solace. At number 2, a place to learn about ourselves and others. You'll learn more in 4 hours on a golf course than almost anywhere else. Number 1, a few priceless hours to spend with friends and loved ones. Responses included time with my dad, time with my husband or wife, time with my closest friends. It's hard to beat the company you share a round with. So what do you think? Why is golf more than just a game to you? Finish this sentence. To me, golf means... I'll let you think about that. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com. Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich.
Different.
Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
This brother De'Aaron Fox.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports. For those who are just now joining us, Alan Stiles' last day of vacay is today. So if you're wondering where is that voice, he is he's with us in spirit, of course, but
he's on a plane right now, I think.
Is he really?
I think so. He said he was flying out in the we'll
we'll find out.
Ahead.
He'll call in.
Sure. So Alan, we know you're listening. Yesterday he tried to play it off like, oh, the one time I turn on and listen, you guys are talking to me. No, he can't get enough, man.
I don't want to say anything because he's listening. But 3. He's still with us. He's still with us. He will be joining us tomorrow, where we can talk all things that he missed. I mean, we haven't even, he hasn't even been here to talk the Ricky Pearsall stuff. He wasn't here to talk Trent Williams, any of that. We got one day of the Brandon Ayuk being wrapped up. So Alan's missed a lot. And so we'll have all his thoughts on everything he's missed tomorrow. Definitely excited to have him back and just to hear what he had to say about everything. And yeah, this Matt Chapman thing, I just heard the official audio. We'll play that tomorrow as well. And just interesting. I don't know if I believe that players actually are contacting him saying, or will actually follow through in coming to San Francisco.
Interesting stuff.
We'll see.
I will say too, this is very rumor heavy, but it's getting a little more real as we go. No former Schefter reports or anything.
Okay.
It's kind of looking like Jamar Chase potentially signed an extension. Nothing formal yet.
Okay.
There's a video this morning. The Bengals have to cross the street to
I
get to
saw
practice.
that. Yes,
it looks
they
like
do.
Jamar almost got hit by a SUV or something. As someone who's been there and done that, I'm glad it didn't happen to him. Okay. But there are rumors about right now that there might be a deal. Nothing formal.
Yeah.
But
yes, and I also saw as well, while we're giving those kind of updates, Hassan Reddick does not seem like he's going to suit up for the Niners in week 1. They were asked today how they see that, or if they see that situation wrapping up anytime soon, and still no update, which makes it definitely seem as if as that game is on Monday, as the days go on and on here, the season starting today, Probably a little unlikely that Hassan Reddick suits up for the New York Jets on Monday when they take on the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll definitely continue to monitor that, but that situation is looking like it probably isn't going to be resolved by Monday. So that's, of course, really good news for the 49ers. Good news for Trent Williams as he's in his first game, without playing any preseason or much of training camp, if any of training camp. So I'm sure that's a joy and relief for him to not potentially be blocking one Hassan Reddick in week 1. As we were talking about jerseys and the most underrated Kings jersey being voted the gold monstrosities, yesterday, in things that you definitely weren't supposed to do, we all love Mike Bibby, man. We saw him on the broadcast last year. Of course, all the memes of Mike and him clearly hitting the gym. It's great. It's just great to have Mike back in the Sacramento Kings sphere. And he's great. He's hilarious. And yesterday, he did something that I can't imagine the Kings were too happy with. He posted on his Instagram story, and shout out that local guy, our guy Drew, who did snipe it really quick and posted it on socials. Mike Bibby posts a picture on his Instagram story of him wearing the purple Sacramento labeled jersey. It's purple. It again has Sacramento across the chest. It's the jerseys that they wore from 2003 through 2008. If you haven't seen it yet, you can just look it up. I mean, at this point, it's been circulating around the web. And the reason why a lot of people don't just think, hey, this could just be a one-off. It could be, whatever. Maybe he's filming a commercial or something like that, which I think he is, by the way, filming a commercial, as it looks like he's in some sort of trailer as he's taking this selfie. And by the way, the selfie says, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play," with a ton of laughing emojis. There's 2 Nike logos on it, on the shorts, and you can see the Nike logo on the corner of the jersey. And they're not just the swoosh. It's got the Nike font on top of it. Very updated, very new. So it looks as if Mike Bibby might have spilled that the Kings will be wearing the 2002 through 2008 throwbacks over the course of this season. And I think I can share on the YouTube page here what it looks like. We have a look of what Domantas Sabonis looks like in this jersey. Looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty dang good.
Can I say, too, something I hate about these jerseys?
Okay.
The NBA's jerseys.
Yeah.
Entirely. I don't know how many people notice it, but there's a fold in the back where the armpit is, where it goes around the arm.
Yeah.
It's not a complete circle. There's a weird part where the jersey folds over the seam.
Yes.
And I'm really hoping this looks like the NBA is doing kind of a new start, essentially, with Nike jerseys, like Nike is, I guess. So I really hope that's gone. You'll see it on the back, I believe, every NBA jersey, but it is it's something I'm hoping for with the new jerseys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think ever since Nike took over, it's been a little suspect. I don't think a lot of people have enjoyed Nike's takeover of any of this, and they really aren't super cool. And part of that is Fanatics too. There's a whole Fanatics thing that we can get into about about them producing the jerseys and how they've kind of lacked quality in general. Also have had a ton of misprints as well. But yeah, I haven't really enjoyed a lot of what Nike's done. I think it would do them really well to kind of start off from scratch and try and figure this thing out, because I love the look of these purple jerseys. I love, first and foremost, that they're purple. I've stated my displeasure for when the Kings had the red jerseys. Wasn't a big fan of the baby blue ones. There was that black and baby blue one as well. These ones are solid. These ones are super solid. I can't imagine, you might not love them. They might not be your absolute favorite, but I can't imagine somebody not liking these. Like, this is stock Kings is really what it is. This is a solid 6 or 7 you're going to give these jerseys. It's purple. It's got Sacramento across the chest. The font's not great. It's a little bit squished to get the entirety of Sacramento across the chest, but they're good. The Kings wore them when they were good too. It's not the early 2000s jerseys that I was hoping for, but they're fine. And, it should bring back some good memories. They wore them in 2003. Like, C-Webb wore these jerseys. He got hurt in them, but he wore them. So it should remind you a little bit of that era. Also a little bit of the Kevin Martin era. Ron Artest wore these jerseys. So these are the jerseys they wore the last time they were a playoff team, a perennial playoff team. So maybe that's the thought process behind it. But I think they look good. I really do. I think this is probably the best that I have felt about their jerseys in a while. Again, I did really like the combination of last year. Wasn't a huge fan of the blue with the king down, but it wasn't terrible at all. We've definitely had worse. But I told Nate I liked the gradient one. The checkerboard on the side, wasn't a huge fan of, but I liked it. I thought it was a step in the right direction. But these throwbacks, that is the direction that the Kings should 1,000% go. Go into these retros and just make your jerseys simple. They just need to be white and black. Maybe you make a purple one, or you should make a purple one. You definitely should make a purple one. But to me, keep it simple with the Kings jerseys. I don't need them to be baby blue. I don't need them to be gradient. Purple, black, white. Those are the Kings colors. Get some silver or gray in there. And we got ourselves a jersey. It's not that hard. You don't really need to complicate it. The best jerseys in the NBA, Celtics, Lakers haven't really changed theirs much at all. I think simple is better when it comes to these kind of things. And all you can do is really do too much. So I like them. And I see someone asking here. So with these throwbacks, will these throwbacks make a change to the IST floor color too? I'm not sure. If these, I would guess not, in the sense of I don't think these are going to be their in-season tournament jerseys. I think we're going to see something else. Because I don't believe the retros were used last year during the in-season tournament. I believe the in-season tournament had their own style of jersey, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check on that, because now that I'm trying to think about what jerseys, I'll have to check Kings Uni Tracker. Because I actually am not remembering if they did wear the same jersey on every single night of the in-season tournament. I don't think they did, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll see. We'll see what the other ones look like, too. I mean, there's still, I believe, 2 other jerseys that need to be released. I believe you have a city and a statement jersey, and then you can have a throwback jersey as well. So, we'll check up on that. And, if you're watching the YouTube right now, you can see the leaked image, I guess you could say, of Mike Bibby wearing that jersey. He looks good in it for what it's worth. I mean, there's no shock that we know Mike Bibby's in crazy shape. But dude still looks like he can play, man. He still looks like he's ready to suit up. He looks more ready than he did when he did play, as a matter of fact. Just absolutely yoked. Yeah. Really cool.
A note on that, too. I listened to Bibby on Jeff Teague's show.
Yeah.
I guess the Kings didn't love when he came back jacked every offseason. They're like, you got to stop lifting weights. And he's like, it's what I do. Like, what do you want from me? They're like, do cardio. And he's like, no. No.
I love that. I'm an eagle, man. You got to let me soar. Let me fly. Mike Bibby just wanted to barrel down, and this man wanted to. Well, I guess it makes sense. Because Mike Bibby's game wasn't really, if Mike was playing like Russell Westbrook, sure, be as buff as you want. But wasn't really kind of his game. So, I could see where maybe Rick Adelman was like, hey, we're kind of trying to play up-tempo fast, and seems like you're trying to run through everybody. I'll tell you what, if he really did show up jacked every single year at training camp, he did a great job of losing that weight, because he, again, looks nothing like he did when he played. And he was still in obviously, he was in great shape when he did play. Looked very muscular, but it was not to the degree that it is now. I mean, again, we showed the image that was leaked, and that dude is filling out that jersey. So I love it. And who knows, maybe these will just be a Kings commercial where they're displaying the 40 years, and we've all been duped. Maybe it's just going to be a quick cutaway of here's Mitch Richmond wearing the checkerboard jersey. Here's Reggie Theus wearing the baby blues. And then here's Mike Bibby wearing this era of jersey. Maybe it's just a little sneak peek of a commercial that we weren't supposed to see. Maybe this isn't as big as a deal as what we're making it, but I don't know. I can't imagine why else it would be like this. And, it's kind of at this point, you're kind of screwed if it's not, because I think you've gotten enough people excited to where if it doesn't come out or if it is just something different, you might have some splaining to do. So we'll see. We'll see as all that stuff is going to get announced within about a month or so. I mean, again, media days on the 30th. Regular season kicks off, October 24th? So you have about a month and a half until the regular season kicks off. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll get all these jerseys leaked and everything by then. So I'm excited. I'm a big jersey guy, and so I think I definitely think this'll make my closet. Feels like this is destined to be in my closet and get a couple of these. I'm a big fan. Coming up next, where will De'Aaron Fox be leading into Sacramento Kings media today? That might surprise you. And I'm going to give you that date to look out for really big Kings news as it's been in the past. It's right around the corner. You find out about it next, right here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at marysvillestampede.com.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
A little fun being had in the Sack Chat. Listen to Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Friend of the show, favorite of the show, one Joe Giroux. But maybe Chris is on to something. Maybe it'll be a commercial for Quick Quack. And then Ryan Coda just perfectly lays out the commercial in front of us. Hey, Sacramento, I'm Mike Bibby. Slide into the ceramic duck lane, and I'll pass you a dime car wash at Quick Quack Car Wash. I can see it. I can see it happening. I'm just telling you right now. And for what it's worth, I'm seeing here from one of my Kings fan group chats that there's a big semi truck out here driving in Sacramento. It's a Sprite one that says Sprite, proud partner of the Sacramento Kings, and has a nice little basketball on it. The back of the truck is split half Sprite, half Kings. So it looks like the Kings. Not only Quick Quack, but could be a Sprite commercial.
That's what it sounds like.
You know,
interesting.
You know, Alan's not here, but tinfoil hats, they remain.
Huh?
We'll see.
They could be shooting like Mike Bibby drinks a Sprite, makes him feel younger. Yeah,
makes me remember my playing days, or maybe like De'Aaron. I don't know. It could be.
That would
be
stink for fans who want this jersey.
I'm telling you. they're going to have some splaining to do if, that commercial comes out in like 2 weeks and people are like, oh, that's what it was for.
People are going to be mad.
People are not going to be happy.
The Kings are the Kings are probably a little like,
they're
Mike,
probably not thrilled.
Mike, why did you post that?
Not thrilled. Not thrilled.
How quick did they catch him? Do we know?
I mean, not quick enough.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, 30 seconds isn't quick enough.
Yeah, I would say it was probably up for, if I had to guess, it was probably up for like at least a half hour to an hour. But that's also one of those things where you have to tell them in advance. Don't post pictures. I guess maybe they thought that was a given, but I don't know why you would assume that.
Maybe Mike's like, I'm Mike Bibby, dude. I'll do what I want.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
My number's not retired.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if I had something to lose, besides NBC Sports, I guess, but I can't imagine.
They liked him.
Yeah, I can't imagine they'll say, we're so mad at Mike Bibby, we don't want him on the broadcast anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Mike.
We'll take you, Mike.
Yeah, hey, Mike Bibby, Doug sat right here. Why can't you? You know? Well, we might need bigger chair. Mike's,
Yeah. I'm not
need a
going to tell
wide-angle
him not to
camera.
do cardio instead of
No. Yeah,
lifting
Mike,
weights.
we can pick up this putting green. We can turn this into, like a little weight room, something like that. We can make this more
I would
comfortable
love
for
that.
him.
Yeah.
We can make it more comfortable for him. So, Mike, our
Get you
offer
some Sprite.
stands. Get you some Sprite. Probably doesn't drink that kind of stuff.
No. He's a little.
Mike's more of a Sobe guy.
What a
I don't know why
wild
I was thinking about Sobeys yesterday. I can't remember why it was.
Dude,
But
those
I was
were
like,
around for
the little gecko on it.
So, dude, those match those Kings jerseys so
like,
well.
what were they?
I don't know.
Like, was that
They were
coconut
kinda
water?
thicker. Yeah.
Very strange. Weird
Ew.
time. Yeah. Probably
Those
did.
are weird.
You want to talk about forever chemicals? Probably
Yeah.
99% of soap.
I'd say that type of person who drank those turned into Monster Energy drink.
Oh, Liquid Death.
That's who took.
No, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
no,
that,
they're
yeah,
Liquid
yeah,
Death
yeah.
drinkers, but yeah.
Those are gross.
I've never
Unless they
had
want
one.
to sponsor.
I've never had one before. I mean, I'm a big soda water fan, but they're
It's
just
not
regular
the same,
waters,
bro.
aren't they?
It's not the same. There's too much like flavor in it. I had the green one. It was gross.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get the marketing of Liquid Death, but
yeah, it's hardcore. Maybe
it is hardcore water. Yeah. And Stephen Curry, no transition here at all. Stephen Curry and De'Aaron Fox, as we were talking about De'Aaron releasing the Curry Fox ones, him and De'Aaron that is, and Steph Curry will be making their way to China next week as a part of Curry brand's China tour, where they will unveil the first ever Curry brand retail store. So De'Aaron Fox will be accompanying Steph Curry as they go on this China tour, and it's great for De'Aaron for marketing purposes. I mean, I think it's in the Redeem Team documentary. LeBron talks about how that was in the Beijing Olympics, and Kobe is just a living legend at the time in China, and it's huge for his marketing. Like Kobe was a massive, massive, massive star there, and it's because not a lot of people take the time or effort to go out there. And so De'Aaron going out there, I think it's great for his marketing for sure. You tie yourself with Steph Curry. Steph gives you the cosign. Steph's relatively on his way out of the NBA. You can maybe pass some of that hype over to De'Aaron. It's a great move for him. Great move for him. Here's the date that you need to look out for when it comes to Sacramento Kings news. 916 Day, y'all. It's so obvious. We are on September 5th right now, but on 9/16, September 16th in the past, in 2023, the Kings revealed their 100th anniversary logo and announced FanFest and the reveal of the City Edition jerseys. In 2002, they announced the theme nights and entertainment for the season. And in 2021, they unveiled the Golden One Center's 5-year anniversary celebration. So they clearly make note to make headlines on 916 Day. So as that's now, what is that? Let me see what exact day of the week that's going to be. But as we're pretty much 2 weeks out, it is going to be a week from Monday. Will be 9/16. Expect something. Maybe this is when we'll find out if Mike Bibby really did leak the throwback jerseys. But be expecting something a week from Monday. on 9/16 day. The Kings of the last 3 years revealed something important to them on 9/16 day. So definitely would expect something big this year as well. Coming up next, speaking of something big, the Drive guys yesterday had on Mitch Richmond, the Rock, to discuss his number 2 spot in Whitey and Drapes' top 40 Sacramento Kings of all time list. We're going to run that back for you this next half hour. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll be rejoining you to break down the rookie and second year QBs and where me and Nate see them finishing this year. And then we're going to wrap up the show at the bottom of that hour, getting you ready for Chiefs Ravens tonight. And then a little bit of crosstalk. You're listening to Stiles and Watkins right here, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game-scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Pro Court Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Pro Court Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to procourtchampionship.com.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Thank you. Good night.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Joining us now, Drapes. True Sacramento Kings royalty. Yes. Yeah. Friday, of course, we named our top 10 Kings, Sacramento Kings of all time. And you knew one of two guys was going to be at the very top. And our next guest, the number that he wore for so many years here in Sacramento, the great Mitch Richmond, the second, according to our panel, number 2 greatest king of all time of the Sacramento era. Mitch Richmond, thanks for coming on with us today, Mitch. How are you?
I'm doing great, but I'm going to be upset if Kyle Draper got number 1. Did he get number 1 of all kings all time?
Hey, Mitch, I should have, man, having to put up with you on the broadcast sometimes, and you're dealing with Katie, you know what I mean? So, so long as it wasn't you, I mean, shoot. But, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I tell you what, Mitch. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the work that we put in for our top 40, but some of the dudes that got votes, hell, I could have got votes. Like I should have got some of the dudes that I'm just saying, man. Some of the guys that I'm like, how the hell did that dude get a vote? Like,
Well, Mitch, let me tell you this. Kyle says that, but one of the guys Kyle voted for was Marvin Bagley. So how about that?
Whoa, come on, Kyle.
Hey, man, I'm a newbie, man. I showed how green I am here in Sacramento. That's my fault.
I didn't say it. You did, and thank God you did.
Here was Mitch. Here was the top 10 as determined by our night. What did we have? 20. We have about 20 people on our panel. Webb, you, Peja, Boogie, Fox, Vlade, Bibby, Domas, Christie, and Reggie Theus. What do you think of that top 10 off the top of your head?
Oh, it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So Oscar couldn't be in it because he wasn't with the Kings, right? It was
just Sacramento.
Just Sacramento. Yeah.
Cool. And you did say Boogie in there? You said Boogie in there?
Yeah, he was. He finished 4th on the list.
Okay, he's on the list. Okay, cool.
Who was 5? Who was 5? Fox?
Fox was 5, Vlade 6, Bibby 7, Domas 8, Christie 9, and then Reggie Theus.
Okay.
10. All right.
Okay, gotcha.
Mitch.
All right. I'll take number 2. Okay.
All right, you cool with that? Okay. All right, good.
One of the guys on the panel was your friend Henry Turner.
I wish I was number 1, but I'm number 2. But okay, I'll take that.
I know Henry Turner voted for you. Henry Turner's been raving about you.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who was the best player you would say you played with during your time here in Sacramento? Who's your best teammate?
Oh, man. You know what I mean? I think, as far as teammates, man, I think I've always, had some pretty good relationships with my teammates. I think I love Wayman Tisdale. You know what I mean? Wayman was a good guy. Lionel Simmons also.
Yeah.
Me and Henry also just hit it off. Walt Williams, Randy Brown, Spud Webb. I mean, I had some really good and OP. We fought a lot, but I still got to put him in there because we always challenge each other. So I got to put OP in there, even though OP, wanted to beat up everybody every day. But he was a good teammate as well. And I had some good ones, man. I had some good guys on
that playoff team that you guys had. That was a tough team, right?
Oh yeah, and I forgot about Brian Grant and the Animal. Man, I love playing with the Animal. Brian Grant. I mean, I had some really good guys. I'm missing someone. And I love Tyus Edney, Sharunas. Man, we could go on and on. Even though Dennis Hobson was a good friend of mine as well. And also, what's my main guy? Dang it, LeBradford Smith.
LeBradford. Wow. From the University of Louisville. Yeah. My God.
That's right. Yep.
Down the
University of Louisville.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. We won winning many games, but we definitely liked each other.
Yeah. Hey, Mitch, doing this exercise, man, it let us, gave us an opportunity to deep dive into the numbers, the careers, and everything like that. And I look at your first year in SAC after coming over in the trade. Like, you guys had 9 first-year or second-year players. Like, it had to be tough, man, going from Run TMC to, you got to rebuild and be the face of the franchise. What kept you motivated to perform night in and night out?
Man, that's a great question because I can remember that situation when I got traded there. Just going over my whole career, like before that time, before I got to Sacramento, I had never lost a season. Like, I had a really bad season. So knowing coming from Golden State at the time when we were established and we felt like we only needed a few players or one big man away from really kind of opening that thing up, or a few players away. Then I got to Sacramento, and we had young talent. You know what I mean? They wasn't bad players, but they were just young. And at that time, we were playing against grown men. Where at that time, you was playing against guys that had full facial hair and had a bald spot at the top. You know what I'm saying? So, these was grown men, and so our team, we had to learn how to play together. We had to learn while we're doing that, we had to learn each other, and it was really tough, really difficult. But what kept me motivated, man, my whole thing was I wanted to be consistent. I had a great 4 years, 3 years at Golden State, averaging 20 something a year. I couldn't say, man, it was easier thinking getting ready to play each and every night. It was really difficult because I was, my head was somewhere else at the time, but I still know that I was playing a game that I love. So I just said, man, I want to be as consistent as possible, and I don't want to I don't want to see people like, oh yeah, he fell off. So I just wanted to be able to, establish that I could still do it anyway.
As far as shooting, Mitch, and I like to ask guys who played before the basketball went so 3-point crazy. You were a 39% 3-point shooter for your career. And with the Kings, I know they moved the line a little bit around, but you were a 40% 3-point shooter with the Kings. If you were playing now, how many threes a game would you be taking?
Oh man, I mean, a lot. You know what I mean? No question, a lot, because the game is warranted that now. Where back then, I think, it was if you shoot a bad 3-point shot, you know what I mean? But so many teams had established big men. They were going down and they're posting their big man, and you take bad shots, you're either gonna give up a layup, or you're gonna go down and get an and one or whatever like this. Teams took advantage of those bad shot situations. But I think now, and not knocking any guy, because I still love to watch the game. Everyone is launching threes, so the game, if you're up 15 or 20, you can come back very easy because everyone is about putting up how many threes we can put up today, and if we have a great percentage, we have to give ourselves a great opportunity to win. So it's just the style of the game has changed, and it's more of the outside, more of the 3-point shot that the guys are taking now.
The legend Mitch Richmond, The Rock, joining us here on The Drive, guys. Appreciate that. Hey, Mitch, when you look at the Sacramento Kings now, man, it's been a long haul, man, a long road to get back to respectability. What do you think of the job Mike Brown's doing, the growth of Fox, and now we added DeMar DeRozan, too?
Love it, man. Love it. Excited for the Kings. I think DeMar DeRozan fits what they're looking for. They already had an outstanding team, but I think, they kind of let up. And then they're still a young team. So I think if they consistently do it in the second half of the season, you're talking about a playoff team that can really, truly go deep. If you look back a year ago or 2 years ago when they took the Warriors to the brink, they're not that far off because everyone understands that they got a guy in Fox, and now they have a unit in Murray and all those, the twins, I think that's right. They have those guys that, complements him. So I just think, the sky's the limit for this team, and I think they needed that bet like DeRozan to come in and really kind of solidify the team. So I think they're in a great spot.
Mitch, as we were just discussing, now the NBA is much more perimeter-oriented than it used to be. But your run TMC teams, you guys were a little smaller, really good shooting team with Don Nelson running the show. Were you in some ways maybe one of the forerunners of the type of basketball teams play now?
Yeah, I think so. We were that high-power scoring machine. but we had 3 guys that all averaged 20-something points. And the only way we could play that way because we had, 3 guys, and not only us 3, we named ourselves Run TMC, or the fans named of Run TMC, but we had other guys that really could put it in the hole. Sharunas was coming off the bench averaging 13, 14 points. We had a lot of great scorers that was coming and really kind of helping. And so the only way that we can play and keep everyone happy, we had to play fast and move the ball and share the ball. And that was the number one thing. We had to share it and take care of it. And that's the one thing that Don Nelson was preaching. If Tim gets the ball, we want you guys still in the lanes. And if you didn't have it, you get a shot from someone else. And then we had a thing sometimes in games. Tim was the only guy that can kind of dribble more than 3 or 4 times. But everyone else, we wanted to make sure that if you weren't going to the hole with, on 2 or 3 dribbles, then, move it and let someone else take an opportunity. Just move your body, keep moving your body, set fix, set and drag. So we were doing all kind of things like that, and it really kind of opened up our game a little bit because we practiced that way. And so and sometimes, we didn't even run plays. We just ran a motion offense that we do each other, and we practiced that way. So it was the best way for us to play because Mully was averaging, I think, 27 that year. I averaged 25, and Tim averaged 23. So we had it was a fun time.
So there you go. There's Mitch Richmond talking about his expectations for the Kings. He clearly feels really good about the direction the Kings are going, likes the DeMar DeRozan signing. I think it's very clear that Mitch is out here watching Kings games, is clearly locked in with what's going on. You also heard him there talk a little bit about his Run TMC days and them kind of ushering in this new era of basketball. And of course, Mitch had to throw in there, if he were playing today, he would probably be one of the best shooters in the NBA, shooting 40% from 3 during his time. Coming up next, we're going to continue to play the remainder of this interview, and then we'll join you at the top of the hour, 1 o'clock, to talk some NFL. But here comes the rest of the Mitch Richmond interview after this short little break. You're listening to Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits, and if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day.
If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Sacramento. Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Hard Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Harmony.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha.
And
And more. Saturday, September 28th at Hard Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacsuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sac Superstore difference.
Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
So teams couldn't scout you. Teams couldn't know what you were going to do on offense because you didn't know what you were going to do necessarily, right?
Yeah. We knew what we knew what we were doing, but we didn't know we was doing it at all different spots.
Yeah.
So how and how Nelly, orchestrated the offense. At times we would practice, and I would play the 5 at times. They would move us all around. So if we're in a position and we're running the floor, we're in that 5 position, just stay there, and we'll get to our motion. Set a back pick to get the big man to the post, and then we just start running our motion. So we ran our practices where we knew each other, where everybody was going to be. And then once we got Tim Hardaway, it was just everything opened up because he was such a guy that really put pressure on the defense. And then it was whoever you wanted to double. So if you doubled myself, Mully and Tim was going to have a good night. If you doubled Mully, I was going to have a good night. And so it was very hard to scout.
Hey, Mitch, you brought up, your time, obviously, with Golden State, Run TMC, 3 stars. Right. I look at what Sacramento has with Domas, now bringing in DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox. How does that work? Like, how can those 3 work? Does somebody have to take a step back? Does somebody have to proclaim themselves to be an alpha? How did you guys make it work, and how do you think the Kings can make it work?
Well, I think when you respect the other guy, only thing that does is really push you because you want to be the best at your position. Chris wanted to be the best at his position, and Tim wanted to be the best. And we had to work together to make it look authentic. We had to make it, work to not make it look so crazy. If we played motion and it was just Tim taking the shots, then we don't need to play motion no more. We need to put a set, that we could put in and everybody kind of, do their thing. But I think it truly can work, especially today because everyone is playing a little faster and it's a little bit more wide open game. It's not as the grueling and stuff like that. So you can really cut through the lanes and make everybody move their body. So, and I think, Kings have more than that, with the young player that's been coming on the Twin, and they got a great bench. So the only way that they can play, you got to play fast because you got so many players that need to touch the ball.
Mitch Richmond with us. I'm wondering if you had any comment on what Anthony Edwards said recently. He said that in the Jordan era, he said, Michael Jordan was the only one really that had any skill. I know Magic Johnson has clapped back at that. Obviously, it's dead wrong, but I'm just wondering what your comments would be on that.
But you know what, man? I think, I hate the debate right now going on what's, who's better, LeBron or Michael, because it's really kind of disrespecting the older players because it's more the fans driving this issue of who's the better, who's the GOAT, who's this. It's different eras. If the older players say that like Michael, then they're saying that they're hating on the young players. So it's a revolving door that you really kind of never get out. You know what I mean? And you're never going to figure out who who is the best anyway. We only can say that we know who's the best, but they're never going to play each other. And it just really I just hate to knock one player down to put up another. You know what I mean? And I think with Anthony Edwards, he's just a young player that really probably didn't watch a lot of that era. You know, he was too young. I mean, his favorite player is Kevin Durant, and in his era. So, you know, you just look at the players that you just wish they knew a little bit more of their history, who came before them, because there's so many great players that played this game that really don't even get recognized about it. So it just hurt that, you know, a young player that would say that about someone that came before him to give him the opportunity that he has now.
What a diplomatic answer.
I know, that was good, Mitch.
Great answer.
I can tell he's did some TV work in the past. Look at him.
Yeah. You know, you got to, because I mean, come on, man. Because it's a difference when you talk to your boys and everything, but it's just pretty much disrespect, man. That you wish that he could really take that back and understand that it was so many great players that played before. That's all. Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, take me back when you were playing. Yeah, obviously Jordan. You had Gary Payton. You had Larry Bird. Like, tell me some of the biggest trash talkers. Were you a trash talker at all? I don't think you were, but you know, I know you went against some.
Yeah. I never was a trash talker until, you know, you got in the heat of the moment. Somebody started talking to you, but you know, people always ask me this question all the time: Did Michael talk to you? Did you guys trash talk each other? We never talked. Like, me and Michael just shook hands, and we went at it. I knew he was going to play me hard. He knew I was going to play him hard, and I think every player I went up against understood that I didn't really talk, man. I just really, I like my play to do my talking, and so it was just me just playing hard. And, you know, you had Bird. Bird would say a little bit here and there. But I've seen Michael talk to people and talk trash. But Gary Payton never shut up. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that. But, you know, it was a lot of guys that would kind of mumble to you. You know, Vernon Maxwell, you know, he was always a guy. You know, Alvin. People don't know about Alvin Robertson.
Yeah.
You know, Alvin Robinson, he would bark at you when he's guarding. You know, he's like, you can't score on the dog.
No way.
He'll be barking at you. You know what I mean? He's like, man, whatever. You know what I mean? But you just block it out and play your game.
Mitch, you told a story. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but you told a story on this station years ago. It's one of the greatest stories I ever heard about Don Nelson. And OP had a role in it too. And it was about a guy named John Shasky. And I'm wondering if you would be willing to.
My good guy, man. He's a good guy.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to. Yeah, could you tell that story?
Yeah, I could tell it. Okay, so we're in Seattle at the time, and Seattle is putting it on us. So, you know, Don Nelson calls a timeout, and I think we had about probably 7 minutes left in the game, and he took us out and put the whole bench in. And OP was just hitting all of our big men, talking smack, all with the hand gesture, and, you know, pumping his chest. And I can remember Don Nelson telling Shasky, I want you to go in there, and I want you to take his head off. I want you to foul him, and I don't care if you foul out. You foul him every dang time he hits. Every time I want you to hit him. So Shasky went in the game, and for that 7 minutes, Shasky never hit him, never touched him, never fouled him, and Nelly was livid. And we knew that, hey man, Nelly's gonna kill that dude when we get back to the locker room. So we walked back to the locker room. Everybody going back to the locker room. And every time we lose, Nelly would just go berserk. At that time, he was still drinking his little beers too after the game. So we go in the locker room, and he told Shasky that I'm never gonna ask you to do anything for me again. And we were like, So the next day, we get back to practice. We always run this, out of us when we lose a game. So we're there practicing. We practiced for about 45 minutes. He told all the starters, sit on the sideline and just and just sit there with your ice bag. I don't want you to go to the locker room. So all of a sudden, you know, he said, Shasky, get out here. So he runs Shasky, man, for about an hour, bro. Like just running him in the ground, just running him in the ground. And we like, come on, man, just come on. The dude is dying, crying, everything. So he pulls everybody up. Okay, that's it. He calls everybody up. And he said, hey, everybody say bye to Shasky because I just cut his ass.
Oh, shoot.
And we're like, oh, my God. We're like, Jesus.
He ran that dude.
He ran. We know. Now we know. If Nelly runs you after practice with nobody else, that means you're gone, bro.
All right.
You're a body. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he cut him, man, and Shasky just started crying. And we like, oh, man, come on, man. Yeah, man.
He ran him into the ground, then cut him. Dang, that's heartless right there.
Yeah, you know, because that's when the time it was, you know, Nelly was the GM and the coach.
Yeah.
So he played both roles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you can't do that anymore now because, you know, you got to separate those two, you know?
Yeah.
Hey,
Mitch.
Yeah.
You know, quick question, man. I know you won an Olympic gold medal. You finished your career with a championship. Carmelo recently said he wouldn't trade an Olympic gold medal for an NBA championship. How do you value those two, winning in '96 and also winning with the Lakers as well?
Yeah, I cherish them both at the top, but I think, you know, kind of like what, you know, Carmelo is saying is that, you know, at that particular time when you wear USA across your chest, this is the one time that every American is cheering for that team. You know what I mean? And they're not cheering for the other country. They're not doing anything. This is the first time when you go in an arena and you know every person now is now got your back and love you because you're wearing that USA across your chest. That's how I felt when I first wore it. Even when I was in 2 Olympics, and the first one I got the bronze.
Yep.
So the second one I got the bronze. I didn't even want to. I didn't even want to touch it. I can remember giving it to my mom, and I'm like, I don't want to see it no more.
Wow.
You know, just put it away. And so, just having another opportunity. Sorry if I had an echo or something. But yeah. But I'm sorry if I got a So if I got the gold, when I got the gold medal, it was just special. So it's just 2 different things.
Right.
Mitch, before we let you go, I want to ask you this question. As someone who grew up in Sacramento, and, you know, I came after Reggie Theus, and he was kind of the first star in Sacramento. For me, you were the second star for the Sacramento Kings. I just want to know, did you ever feel that pressure of, like, carrying the whole city on your back? Or was it just more or less, I'm just going out here to play basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that the city, and it was great to – hold on, man, it's an echo. I'm sorry, let me get out of the way. But, yeah, I knew at that time that, I mean, I just needed to play ball, man. It was a game that I loved to play. And if I play hard, play aggressive, I just, you know, I had to let it fall where it may, you know what I mean? And you know, we would lose games, but that pressure didn't really bother me. But I definitely, you know, it bothered me at times when we wasn't winning. But I knew that, hey, man, I just go out and do my job, do it the best I possibly can, and then let the chips fall where they may, man. So I didn't really see it as pressure at that time. It was just knowing that I was going to play hard, and that's all I can go off.
Thank you, Mitch. We really appreciate you coming on.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, home runs have been a big story for the A's as they hit 16 on the recent road trip, and they picked it up back at home on Labor Day with 2 by Shea Langoliers, including a walk-off, giving him 25 for the year, including 24 while catching. In the long history of the A's franchise, only Terry Steinbach hit more while behind the plate. He hit 34 back in 96.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
Hey, listen up. This is your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. First on the lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival coming September 12th through the 15th. And then rock out to Zeppelin USA at Thunder Valley on September 19th. On September 20th, laugh your heart out with comedy superstar Nikki Glazer at Thunder Valley. And the laughs keep on coming on September 21st with George Lopez when he takes the stage at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. If you're a country fan, you won't want to miss Winona Judd at Hard Rock Live on September 28th. And then on October 4th, comedy legend Rob Schneider is bringing the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. On October 20th, you don't want to miss Renee Vaca as he brings his hilarious stand-up to the Crest Theater. And finally, gear up for the ultimate Halloween bash with a $5,000 costume contest. It's Sinners and Saints Saturday at Thunder Valley on Saturday, October 26th. Costumes, music, and plenty of thrills. And that's your Sacktown Sports live events calendar. For details, go to sacktownsports.com. And stay locked on to Sacktown Sports for your chance to win tickets.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports. Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. This thing still on? Yeah. That was Mitch Richmond with the Drive Guys yesterday. Great stuff from Mitch. I mean, you have him telling how he thinks the Kings are going to have a really great season. Talks about the second half of the year being very important for the Kings, saying the sky's the limit for this team. And then wrap things up there. What a story. course Whitey's heard it before. I'll have to ask him about that as we do crosstalk in about 45 minutes or so. Where Whitey heard that story first off. And yeah, what a great story it was Mitch told there. Poor Shashky, man. I mean, I guess that's what you should kind of expect. You know, the coach checks you in and tells you to do literally one thing and you don't do it and you're a role player. What do you really expect? Well, probably didn't expect to be ran to death and then cut immediately after. Definitely can't do that anymore. So there you go. That's Mitch Richmond. You can check that out if you did miss any of it, any portion of it. You can check it out right now on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140. And later on today at 2:30, another Kings legend. Not to the same level as one Mitch Richmond. I've got no problem saying that because Mitch is number 2 on that list. Some people had him at number 1 on their list. So I think it's okay to say Jason Thompson, not quite on the same level as Mitch Richmond, but he made the list. He made the top 40 list. I think he was 34, something like that, on Whitey and Drapes' top 40 Kings list. He'll be joining the Drive guys at 2:30. Then you got the L Train, Lionel Simmons, joining them at 3. So definitely don't want to go anywhere and miss those, as you just heard the quality of interview they had with Mitch. I'm sure it's going to be a great conversation with JT. Wonder what he's up to these days. Really haven't heard much from him since he exited the league. I know he at least spent a season overseas. I believe he played for Fenerbahce, which is, I believe, out in Turkey, and had a really good season. That's a really good European club. But I haven't heard much from JT since then. So intrigued to hear what he's up to now. Feel like I vaguely remember hearing he returned to his college alma mater, Rider University. I think he's an assistant coach there, but you can hear definitely what JT's up to. And then Lionel Simmons too. I don't know if I've ever heard Lionel Simmons interview. Definitely not on these airwaves for a while. So definitely excited to hear those guys. And you should get excited if you are looking for these Deon Cole tickets. We've been giving them out all week, and we're going to continue to give it out right now. For those who are interested, get ready to call into the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Deon Cole returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And of course, Sacktown Sports wants to get you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now as we are looking for caller. Nate, what number caller are we looking for today?
In honor of Mitch Richmond, number 2.
That's right. We're going to be quick on it. So today's the only day where you can be as quick as you possibly can, and Nate will take it. Caller number 2 to score the pair of tickets to check out Deon Cole at Hard Rock Live on September 15th, courtesy of Live Nation. Again, Deon Cole.
916-339-1140, Mr.
Right.
Old Spice himself.
That's right. 916-339-1140. Get your call in right now. If you aren't one of our winners, we're also going to be giving away tickets tomorrow as well. So that'll be your final chance to get these Deon Cole tickets. And if you're looking to purchase, you can find more information over at sacktownsports.com. So there you go. Looking over to my right, and it looks like the phone lines are full, which means we have found our second caller. So thank you all so much for participating. And again, we will have that tomorrow at this time as well. 1:00 is when we do our giveaways. So you're definitely going to want to tune in tomorrow for your last chance to get Deon Cole tickets. Really love that interview with Mitch. Love to hear from Mitch. I'd love to get him, on the Kings pre and post game a little bit this year. Again, it really seemed like, he's at least aware of what's going on with the team. And, I'm sure he's not tuning into every game, but I think he just has in general really good basketball insight, clearly is keeping up with the league. You heard his comments about Anthony Edwards in that situation. And it's just great that Mitch is one of these former players that isn't get off my lawn. Whitey and Drapes kind of gave him a bit of a tough time for his very political answer on the Anthony Edwards thing, but I think it's the right one. It's the right one to have. And that's, I could kill him, but honestly, he didn't watch. He doesn't really know what he's going off of. And, Mitch makes the timeless argument of why do we have to tear something down in the name of raising somebody else up? So, yeah, I would love to hear more from Mitch throughout this Kings season. Hopefully we can get him on the show. If not, hopefully the Drive guys can have him on again at some point because I'd love to hear his thoughts. Again, number 2, he was voted on as the second best Sacramento King of the last 40 seasons. Love it anytime you can hear from a Sacramento Kings legend in one Mitch Richmond. Love that. Love that. Yeah, like I said, excited to hear what JT has to say today. That should be exciting. He made the list, and he kind of, you could argue he got the wrong era. He's a solid player. Obviously, those teams were just not going anywhere, but JT was what he was, near single digits per game, like an 8-8 kind of guy, 8 points per game, 8 rebounds, maybe peaked at 11 or 12 points per game. He was solid. He was super solid. I think he was just a little bit of a tweener. I think in today's NBA, JT's probably a center. I think of him play style wise, like Rashawn Holmes. Like I think he could have filled that kind of lane. Nothing crazy or anything like that, but just a really solid starter for a couple years. Probably better off as a bench guy, but again, situation kind of made him be the starter for the Kings for probably longer than what he should have been, but really solid player. Really, really solid player. One of the Kings' better draft picks, funny enough. But yeah, really excited to hear what JT has to say and his thoughts on this team, how much he's keeping up with these guys. Haven't seen him around town much. Again, he's the guy who's got the record for the most games played of anybody here in Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox, 72 games away from breaking that. It'd be really cool if we can get JT in the building for that day. I don't know who he got the record from beforehand, but it would be a really nice passing of the torch, not that they're necessarily on the same level, De'Aaron Fox and Jason Thompson, but I think it'd be a really cool moment for the Kings to have. And I think it's going to be great when De'Aaron takes that record from him. Because I think, that is the one thing. Mitch Richmond I don't believe Mitch Richmond had that record before JT. C-Web definitely didn't touch it. So I think it'd be great for one of the Kings' best players to also be their most played.
Here's what I got for you.
Okay.
Now, I'm trying to differentiate Rochester.
Oh, right.
Kings.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I believe this is 85. This is going to be interesting. Okay. You got JT, right?
Yep.
Next, do you want to guess number 2?
I would guess Mitch, but I really don't know.
Peja.
Wow.
518.
Okay. Yeah,
games.
that makes sense.
Mitch is at 517, so they're right there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Then you got the guy who's going on the show today.
Really? Lionel.
LaSalle. I'm sorry.
It's LaSalle Thompson.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I always mix those
Lionel
two.
Simmons,
That's
LaSalle Thompson. You're good.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry. And then Bibby's not too far behind, speaking of.
Yeah, he shouldn't be.
476.
Wow.
Cousins, 470.
And I think De'Aaron's right there, isn't he?
469.
Right behind them.
He's going to, opening night, he's going to match DeMarcus. He'll match. And then Bibby, he'll get Bibby in just seven or so games.
That's crazy. That De'Aaron and DeMarcus at this point have pretty much you said one game separates those two, De'Aaron and DeMarcus?
Yeah.
That's insane. That De'Aaron's tenure at this point has been as long as DeMarcus Cousins was here.
Who do you think averaged more minutes per game as a King?
Between those two?
Yeah.
Probably DeMarcus because the team was worse and they needed him on the floor.
I would have thought that too.
It's De'Aaron?
It's De'Aaron by a full minute. And I'm pretty sure this is only Kings.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking on this is StatMuse. So these are all Kings affiliated
basketball
stats.
Reference.
And then they almost have the exact same amount of points per game. DeMarcus at 21.1, Fox 21.2.
Let me see.
Just weirdly similar.
I mean, they've both been great.
They average the same amount of steals per game.
Both at 1.4?
Yes.
Wow.
Just funny
Yeah, I'm
little
looking at it.
little numbers things.
Yeah, DeMarcus 31.9 minutes per game, De'Aaron 32.9 minutes per game.
Field goals made per game, 7.6, 7.8.
You mentioned points per game. De'Aaron's at 21.2. DeMarcus is at 21.1.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Dude, their 3-point percentage is less than 1% apart. D Fox, I don't know if that's good. D Fox 33.4, DeMarcus 32.2.
See, so
I guess that's 1.2.
So this is where my logic for Whitey and Drapes' list clearly didn't match up with everybody else's, because if I'm not mistaken, DeMarcus was number 4, De'Aaron's number 5
on the
Whitey and Drapes top 40 list that was voted on by the media.
Let me double
and a
check
couple
that.
fans.
Yeah,
I believe that that's the case. And see, so with that being the case, with us just laying out that they pretty much have, for all intents and purposes, the same numbers, the fact that De'Aaron led the team to the playoffs, that automatically puts him over DeMarcus to me.
Fox at 5, DeMarcus at 4. Yeah, I personally think with the whole numbers aren't as important on that list for me. That Sacramento Kings,
it's more spirit. It's like the how it feels, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Sacramento.
Not
And
a
I
tangible
think
thing.
Fox is past that. I think DeMarcus represents a very ugly era for this team. And
Yes.
I think his play and the way he kind of acted on the court
For sure.
follows that.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
I'm more of a, I don't want to say anti-DeMarcus guy, but I'm not a big
Sure.
DeMarcus guy like a lot of people here are.
I had him at number 5 on my list.
However-
I had him at number 4.
Yeah, however, I do, when I think of the Sacramento Kings, there was a long time in my life when I still kind of do think of DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that says a lot. I think that's saying that the Kings are starting to turn around and need to turn around their image.
Yeah, and I do think De'Aaron being the 72, or reaching that 72 game mark and beating Jason Thompson for most games played, I do think that that's a step in that right direction. And I do think that people will start to associate the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox. I think they just have to make the playoffs 1 or 2 more times for that to just be in people's heads moving forward. Coming up next, we are going to rank Nate and myself our favorites for this upcoming football season, the rookies and second-year QBs. Where do we see them falling this upcoming NFL season? You're listening to Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football, Sacktown Sports.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. We are in the final hour of the program, which means it's time to talk some football. Ravens, Chiefs, kicking off the season today. I guess tonight 5:20 on ABC. I'm sorry, NBC. Should be a good one. No reason why it won't be. Seems like all the Chiefs will be in action. Seems like the Ravens will be relatively healthy as well. We'll talk more about that in about 15, 20 minutes or so.
In KC, correct?
In KC. Yep, we looked it up earlier.
Usually,
Yep. Should have the whole Super Bowl ceremony and all that. Should be giving out the rings.
Gonna be missing the guy, Chiefsaholic.
Yeah, Chiefsaholic. Not gonna be the same without him in the building.
Think he's gonna be watching behind bars?
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Somehow,
guaranteed.
Yeah,
100%. I'm sure he I'm sure it was something that they negotiated. That he had his lawyers.
They're like, I'll take 4 extra years.
Yeah.
Can I just
Give
watch?
me a TV.
Can I listen
Yeah.
on AM radio?
That'd be decent.
AM radio is great.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
There's
it.
literally, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's great
perfect.
way of spreading the word,
Yeah. It's free.
It is for now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see if that continues. But
yeah, we're working on something.
Yeah, subscription. Sacktown Sports Plus. Get ready.
You get to hear Nate's hot takes on Taco Bell items and
a 24-hour live stream of
how to survive
the board
getting hit
operator.
by a Prius.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Nate's
yeah.
untold
the
story.
original programming that we could have.
Kyle Ledbetter's stand-up hour.
Yeah. Oh my God. We could do a lot. We could have Dave do some cooking stuff.
Yeah. We've talked about doing a cooking show before.
Alan can give hitting tips or something. I don't know.
Oh man, Alan would be the ridiculousness of that network. Just everything he can do, just nonstop.
Airing everything.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
What's the guy's name on ridiculousness?
Rob Deerdeck?
No, the guy on the couch who he said I was.
Literally only Alan knows that.
I never called him that guy either.
No,
dude.
Let's stop talking about him. He's gonna call in again. Please.
Let's say his name one more time.
Yeah,
it's the Beetlejuice effect.
Exactly. All right, Nate, let's get into this list real quick. Real quick.
It's gonna be a 2-segmenter for sure.
Yes, probably. Yes. And yes, we will get you ready for Ravens Chiefs as well in this next segment, but it's probably going to bleed over. And I say we start. Do you already have this all mapped out and everything? I think we should start at the bottom.
I don't have an exact list.
Okay.
I just figured it's good to follow your list and just build off. Of it. Just give my opinions. You're the star. You're the talent.
I'm not used to being in this chair.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you give your list, and I'm gonna criticize it.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. These are rookie and second-year quarterbacks. We just bunched them all together, and these are my power rankings for how I see this season going. So this is how I think it's going to shake out at the end of the year. I think these are going to be our perceptions of how the power rankings, the tier system, or as Dave pointed out, the totem pole will shake out. Apparently, bottom of the totem pole is more important.
I've said that several times on this airwaves, and Dave doesn't listen. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Something about the people who sit in this chair,
Dude, he really doesn't know what your favorite team is.
Has no idea.
We were
talking
talking
that the other day.
Yeah, you told me the other day.
Yeah.
And then the day when he called me to come in there and he was mad about the fantasy thing, he goes, "Chris, what's your favorite team again?" And I thought it was a bit, and you went Vikings. And then we looked at each other like, wow, he really
didn't.
That's probably the 4th or 5th time you've told him.
Yep. 4th or 5th time I've told him, and I say it pretty much every day on these airwaves. So
yeah. You really do. You really do.
Whatever. All you can do is listen. Let's just give the bottom 3. I think is what we can have time for here. And for those who just need a refresher, rookie and second-year quarterbacks entering starting spots this season: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Drake May, Michael Penix. We included Spencer Rattler in here. You have Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, and one Mayo man, Will Levis. And where I ended that list is where I will start this one. Number 10, I think Will Levis is still the worst quarterback. I just don't know what exactly he is. I will say I have Bo Nix at number 9. That's at least because I think there's hope that we're all wrong on Bo Nix. I think everybody going into that draft process wasn't very high on him. And I think coming out of the draft process, not a lot of people very high on him. But if you listen to anything that's going on in Denver right now, they're thrilled. They think he's going to be great. Again, they're starting conversations of he might be the best rookie quarterback season over Caleb, over Jaden Daniels.
Can I about Will Levis real quick? We kind of glossed over him. CBS has him the ranked number 1 to do the best next year. They have a list of second second-year quarterbacks. They're really high on Will Levis. I will say last year, number 2, they had Brock Purdy, and number 1, they had Kenny Pickett. So that just goes to show, like, I don't know. I think having Will Levis towards the bottom is a good call.
I think he can be higher.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, right? Like, he is somebody who,
Calvin Ridley's
if things go well, sure. I can definitely see a world where we're talking about Will Levis definitely better than Bryce Young, maybe better than some of the rookies that we're going to see this year. But I think there's also a good chance that he turns the ball over just as much as he makes good plays. And I think that's the thing that I just don't see from Will Levis. I don't see the bad plays getting eliminated. And I'm not saying he can't make plays. I think he can run. He's got a strong arm, but I don't think he has the football IQ. I think he's going to turn the ball over a ton. I don't think that offense is going to help him out at all. So I've got Will Levis last. I've got Bo Nix at 9. And that's really just because I'm reading too much out of Denver. They're really excited about Bo Nix. They really are.
I'm a lot higher on Bo Nix than you are.
Yeah, I mean, you had them as a playoff team, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I can see it.
That's a specific scenario we were doing, but
yes. More so to point out that you don't think they're going to be.
I see potential.
Stock. Yes, you see potential.
I think he can have a better season, or probably will have a better season than Jaden McDaniels.
None of us will ever get it. Jaden Daniels. I will call him Jalen McDaniels. I will call him Jalen Daniels. I will call him everything but his actual name because that's just how my brain works. And at number 8, I have Michael Penix. I think we're going to see a little bit of Michael Penix this year. I don't think we're going to see enough to get a full read on him. But again, I think we'll see enough of him to say, I think he's going to be better than Bo Nix. I think he is already better than Will Levis. I think if he plays a lot, he'll probably be much higher on this list than what I even have him at here. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, I read it wrong. And I actually have Spencer Rattler here. I meant to put Spencer Rattler. I have Michael Penix on this list twice. I actually meant to put Spencer Rattler in that number 8 spot. And that's really just, to be honest with you, that's for Alan. Alan was supposed to be listening at this point in the show. And I just wanted to give him a little bit of a, hey, man, I hear you. I listen.
Alan brings stinky lunches.
And there you go. And we'll see if Spencer Rattler has a stinky season or not. But I can guarantee he'll look better than Derek Carr. And that's why I think Spencer Rattler could be something. But he could also just be okay. And I think that'll be good enough to fit at number 8. Again, I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but I do think he's going to be somebody who's like, okay, maybe as a backup, maybe a high-level backup, but I don't know if he's going to be a starter. We'll give you the rest of this list coming up on the other side of the break, and we will also preview Chiefs, Ravens, and I'll give you all those Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson numbers that we read at the top of the show and just let you know how important this game could be for one Baltimore Ravens. You're listening to Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They believe it's all about people and choices. Their goal is to find the car that fits your your lifestyle. With their huge inventory of models, they've got the right car and, more importantly, at the right price every time. Experience for yourself why their customers drive away smiling. Discover the difference, because it's not just about the car, it's also about the people. Experience the Sacramento Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler difference off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks, or you can find them online, sacsuperstore.com.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Thank you. Good night.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Last half hour of the program, bringing you into Drive Guys, as again, they will have Jason Thompson on at 2:30, Lionel Simmons on at 3. Should be a good day to tune into the Drive Guys, as they have an abbreviated show as well. So, that will be with Thursday Night Football. You'll get that broadcast fully right here, Sacktown Sports 1140, where you can hear all Thursday Night Football action, with the exception of when there's butting heads with the Kings. So, should be who used to call it? Someone used to call it the prime rib. I think it might have been Cattles and Rami when they had the abbreviated show. You lose all the extra stuff you don't need, and it's just the best. Just the best of Whitey and Drapes coming up in about a half hour. And let's get into the best of the first and second year quarterbacks. The rest of this list is we had Will Levis at number 10, Bo Nix at number 9, and I had Spencer Rattler at number 8. I do think that there's some hope for that young man, and I think we'll probably get it in a limited sample size, which will probably have us feeling pretty good about where he's going to be, at least for the next season. But I could definitely see that being almost like a Sam Howell, being a help me out, Desmond Ridder kind of situation where, he's fine, but I don't think there's any real illusion that this guy's going to be a long-term starter in the league. But we'll see. We'll see. Spencer Rattler had a lot of hype coming out of high school. At number 7, I have Bryce Young. I still don't believe. I just think he's too small. I really do. Like, the fact that they literally would sub in Andy Dalton on 3rd and 1s because they couldn't QB sneak with him because he couldn't get any yards. He's not tall enough to get a single yard to stretch that out.
Zont King
for sure. But he's like, it's Tua without really the short passing game that Tua can bring in. We see Tua can obviously let that thing fly, but I just don't see it with Bryce Young. I don't know what you're selling yourself on with Bryce Young besides the brain, right? Like, that's the That's the selling point. Allen's favorite term that apparently never existed before Brock Purdy, according to him, processing power.
No,
processing speed, elite processor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Like, that's the Bryce Young selling point, is that he's somebody who can throw the ball on time, on target, down the middle of the field. But I haven't seen a lot of outside throws. He looked pretty good throwing to Adam Thielen last year, and that could be part of it too, right? Adam Thielen, 30 whatever years old, wrong side of 30, is his number one receiver. Maybe he just was set up to fail. But I don't think it's getting much better this year. I know everyone loves Xavier Leggett and his quotes. They're great, but kind of need some production out of those Panthers.
He also doesn't have any help around him.
None at all.
That team is
like none at all. They now
really
don't
bad.
have Brian Burns either on the other side.
No.
So I don't know what exactly. It seems like it's going to be more of the same for the Panthers. And of course, they traded the first round pick to get Bryce Young, so they didn't have a first round pick at the top of this draft either.
And the good thing is bad division.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
there's a
really
worse
the
team in
only
it.
selling point, right?
Yeah.
Is that maybe they can just cannibalize within the division. They'll all be so bad or so mediocre, I guess, that no one will really stick out as extra terrible. As number 6, I have Michael Penix. I got Michael Penix at number 6. Like I said earlier, I mean, I think we're going to see a little bit of him, and I think the little bit that we will see will be promising. I think it's a little bit suspicious that they played him for one snap or one down during the preseason and then took him out. Said, nope, we've seen enough. Obviously, Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles. Maybe they're a little afraid.
How old is your boy Kurt? 34?
He's on the wrong side of 30 as well. I think, 34 sounds right to me. Celebrity birthdays. Kirk Cousins is the ripe age of 36. He is 36, just turned 36, August 19th. So he's 36 years old, coming off an Achilles injury. Wasn't mobile before. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's going to happen again or any major injury is going to happen to Kirk, but wouldn't surprise me if we see 2-3 games of Michael Penix, and I think it'll be decent. I got Jane Daniels at number 5. I think he's going to be fun. I think he's going to be exciting. I also think he's going to get hurt. He's way too small. And the way he runs, there's no way. There's no way he's learned how to slide. There's no way that he's not going to try and make as many explosive plays as possible. But I will say if he stays healthy, he's top 3. Easy. I just don't believe he's going to stay healthy. I really don't. But I think the talent's there. I just wonder, funny enough, I guess not really funny, but the fact he goes to the Commanders reminds me a lot of RG3 potentially. Where he's there, you see it. You might even see it during the entirety of the rookie year. Where, oh man, if this guy can just stay healthy, he'll be a problem. But I don't know. I mean, his running prowess is part of the selling point. He is a great thrower. I mean, I think last season at LSU, he had the record for he had like 3,500 pass yards and 1,000 rush yards as well. I think he was the first quarterback since Lamar to do that. So, I mean, he's clearly a special talent, but he's got to be able to stay healthy. And I don't know in a situation like that if he's going to be asked to do too much. I've got Drake May at number 4. Big Drake May fan. I wanted the Vikings to take him at their pick in the draft. Didn't get him. He wasn't there. Obviously goes 3. They've already said he's played better than Jacoby Brissett during the preseason. I think it's only a matter of time. I think they're just trying to not give him essentially make him a sacrificial lamb and just throw him to the wolves. I think they'll let him play Jacoby, that is 6 weeks, maybe 8, 2 months, and then go Drake May. I think Drake May is going to be really good. It might be a little Josh Allen-y where, first year, it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's big, he can run.
Raw.
Very raw. Very raw. I think he's going to make a lot of mistakes, but I think you're just going to see it. I think if you watch him every week, I think you'll see the tools, and I think you'll see what the Patriots saw in him at number 3. But they run into the same problem that we said with Bryce Young. They got no talent. Nate, you said yesterday they had the lowest over-under in the entire NFL.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah.
They've got nobody.
Right next to Bo Nix's Broncos.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm now that we're really going through it, I kind of wish I made my own. We have some significant differences.
We can
here.
do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
we can throw Allen in
get
here,
Mr. Stiles in there
because I know he's got thoughts on this.
I am not on the same level as Drake May with you.
That's great.
I don't think he's going to be really much. A lot of these guys, rookies, are just not given what they need to prosper, especially first-year coach in New England with the weather. Just too many factors. Again, tough division.
Sure.
And then your number 3. I don't see this guy doing too well in the NFL for very long.
This is just, I have to commit to a bit. And my bid is Anthony Richardson's that guy.
What a bid.
It's really not even a bid. It's just the dude has to stay healthy. That's it. And it's the Jaden Daniels. I mean, I just said it with Jaden Daniels, but I just have to believe Anthony Richardson wasn't healthy last year. Hopefully he'll be healthy this year.
Not impressed me last year.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm telling you. Just excited. It really is. You know, he calls himself Cam Jackson, merge of Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson. I see it. I see it, and I'm there.
All right.
I'm there.
This is a great bit.
I'm all in.
This is a really good bit.
I'm all in on Anthony Richardson. Okay? Just wait. Just wait. He just has to play.
Okay.
And it's a big if. It is a massive if.
Okay.
But if he plays, I think it's not even going to be close. I think he's the top 3 easy. He might even be number 2 if he can stay healthy.
Well, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Caleb Williams. I mean, everything we've seen from Caleb is just legit. It is 100%.
His nails painted,
all
all
of
that
it,
stuff.
all of it.
Legit.
Give me all of it, the whole package. Because that dude,
the whole purse,
all of it, whatever he's got. Because you see some of the things he's doing out there, it looks like he's still in high school. I mean, he's running around the pocket, escaping. He doesn't have the Drake May, Bryce Young problem. He's got Rome Odunze. He's got DJ Moore now, who's a $30 million.
DeAndre Swift, in the
$30 million.
backfield.
He's got DeAndre Swift back there. He's got Khalil Herbert still. Let's not forget Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
want to talk about if he can stay
Who he
healthy.
play for?
But I think Caleb Williams is set up. I'm not
Big
going
dude.
9.5. We talked about the over-unders yesterday. 9.5 too much. But if they can get 9, if they can get close to 500, 8 wins, Caleb, I really think this team is going to be set up to help Caleb Williams look like a star, and he would be number 1 on this list. One for CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ just is the number 1 quarterback of these first and second year.
Not much to say about it, really.
Really not much at all. He's got everything that I just described with Caleb. He's got the skills. He's got the talent. He's got the players around him. There's no reason why we won't see CJ Stroud continue to dominate like he did last year. He's a top 10 quarterback on a lot of people's lists, and it wouldn't surprise me if at the end of this year he's a top 5. That division's not looking too great either. We'll see. We'll see how CJ does in year 2 as people are a little bit more prepared for him. But, they add Stephon Diggs as well. I think it's going to be a great year for CJ Stroud. I really, really do. And we'll see how good of a year it's going to be for the Chiefs and the Ravens. We preview that with one Kevin, Michael, Whitey, Gleason coming up next right here, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com. The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank NA member FDIC.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, last segment here. You know how we do things on these airwaves. We got a little crosstalk. Whitey Gleason joining us. And Whitey, why don't you explain to the people what you're wearing today?
Because football starts today, I decided to wear a football jersey.
That's right.
I don't have a lot of football jerseys.
Clear.
So, this is a 1967 replica. It's not, a throwback.
It looks
like
authentic to me,
67. Johnny Unitas.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Whitey Gleason, only person in Sacramento who probably owns and definitely the only person you will catch wearing a Johnny Unitas football jersey. So I take it we know you're not an Olympics guy. Okay.
Uh-huh.
First week of football.
Kinda. Yeah.
Can we get excited for that?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Just had to make sure because I do think sometimes, the people, I think get a little football fatigue, and I definitely understand it. But, we've gone like 7-8 months without football. So, it does feel like the proper amount of time, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the action tonight. You got Chiefs. You got Ravens. You guys have a short show because of it.
We do?
Yeah. I'm glad to let you know. Glad to be the one to inform you. So, it's going to be the prime rib of content today when it comes to the drive guys. And before we get into Whitey's thoughts on anything, I wanted to set up this Ravens Chiefs game. Again, 8 months ago, Chiefs won 17-10 in that AFC Championship game. Ravens looking a little bit different, adding Derrick Henry, adding Justin Matabike, adding Kyle Van Noy as well. Chiefs, of course, adding Hollywood Brown over the offseason, drafting one Xavier Worthy. A lot of people excited that the Chiefs offense can look how it looked last year and when it had Tyreek Hill adding another vertical weapon. I mentioned at the top of the show, Lamar Jackson 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes, which is fifth most lopsided rivalry between two MVPs. Lamar's 4 losses to KC are more than he has against any team. No other quarterback has beaten Lamar more than twice. He's beaten Tom Brady twice. He's beaten Joe Burrow 4 out of the 5 times that they have matched up. Why do you lean in either way in this matchup today?
I'm kind of leaning towards the Ravens.
I am too.
Sentimentally.
Yes.
I'd like to see, I think they have the chance to run the ball down their throats.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of cliche football stuff, but Patrick Mahomes can't do anything if he's on the sideline, eating ketchup out of a bottle or whatever he does. If you got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson running the ball with great skill. I know Lamar Jackson had just said, hey, did you see this? I think he just said this today or yesterday. If my legs were good when we played them in the AFC Championship game, we would have won. I don't really think you should say that, but
don't really know what we can do with that information. I think I did see he had a spread with it might have been GQ. Took some nice photos, but yeah, I think that might have been where those comments came from.
So.
I'm right there with you though. I mean, I think just in general, the Ravens probably care way more about this game than the Chiefs do. Like the Chiefs lost this first game of the year last year against the Lions.
Yeah.
Didn't mean much of anything.
Was like, yes, here we go.
That was their Super Bowl.
Meh.
Exactly. Meh. And, I think the Ravens, everything I just listed, the Chiefs clearly have their number. I don't think the Chiefs really think, of course they're going to go out there and try and win. It's ring night, everything like that. They want to set the tone for the season. But if they lose, they know it's not that big of a deal. The Ravens, if they lose to the Chiefs again, you start to get in your head, man, these guys own us. Oh, my God. First, again, it kind of feels like, all right, now we know that we're at the bottom of this mountain that we need to climb all year, and we're probably going to see them again at some point. I think a win goes a lot further for the Ravens, and they lose their D coordinator. He's now coaching the Seahawks. I think they definitely have a little bit more wind in their sails. And, I think we've heard, more so when it comes to basketball, ring nights can be a little bit weird energy too, because everything that happens, all the pageantry, everybody kind of feels, nostalgic and happy and crying and all that. And then it's like 2 minutes later, all right, let's kick the ball off and let's get ready for a football game. So,
I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to throw any touchdown passes tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Derrick Henry does. I kid you not.
Oh, is that a nice tease?
I think he's thrown multiple touchdown passes against the Chiefs.
Really?
Yes, I believe he has.
Well, I've seen him throw a couple touchdowns. Wouldn't surprise me at all. When you have the Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson backfield is going to be hopefully one of the funner things we get out of this NFL season. Obviously, you get the lightning, you get Lamar and all the craziness that he can do in the backfield, and then you get the ultimate thunder.
Yeah. Remember, they'd be on the goal line, Tennessee. They'd be on the 2 or whatever, and Tannehill would just run a fake.
Right.
And the whole team would just go out
just collapse the middle.
Just like,
he's like, I can walk in. Yeah, I can probably give it to the coach. And
they had to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great season for them. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up turning out. Of course, they finished with the best record in the AFC last year. Didn't do them much good, as, again, they fall to the Chiefs in that final game. Whitey, we played the entirety of the Mitch Richmond interview. First off, it was great. Love to hear his thoughts on the Kings. Really seems like he's paying attention for the most part. Again, I don't know if he's watching every game or anything like that, but it seemed like he's pretty locked into to what's going on here, and definitely had some good words to say about this team.
Yeah. Did you like the story I asked him to tell?
I was just about to ask you about that. First off, where did you? I know you said he told the story. Was it with you?
It was on this station. A long time ago, he told that story,
and you just
I didn't know about it then, and I was something about Don Nelson. He goes, "Oh, I got to tell you about Nelly." And then he told that story. Now it's an incredible story.
Incredible.
So I thought he might say, yeah.
My goodness. I think Kyle said it during it, but it's like, that doesn't happen anymore. You can't, there's got to be some sort of labor law that's got to be in the CBA, right? Where it's like, you can't just run a guy to death and then say,
bye-bye.
Hey guys, everybody. All right. Good practice. Everybody circle up.
Yeah.
All right, everybody say bye to Shashky because he's done.
He's clearly he was telling everyone else, when I tell you to do something, you better do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the message is quite clearly received there. Incredible story from Mitch. And then, you guys have 2 other Kings on your list today, right?
Jason Thompson today and Lionel Simmons. So
very
nice.
I
think it's 230 and 3.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yes. 230 and 3. And what, JT was in the 30s on your guys' list? And
I believe so.
Yeah. Lionel, I know, finished. He was on the list as well. But
solidly in there. Yeah.
How did Mitch feel about being number 2?
I think I'm not sure. I think he probably like, okay. But he's Mitch Richmond. Probably on some level he would never say it, but he's probably like, that ain't right.
Yeah. Can I say too, you guys asked him the question about the Olympics and winning a title. Him winning a title with the Lakers.
I know. Right.
Just gross. Just gross.
Although he didn't play much. I think he actually dribbled out the clock.
He did.
Won.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, exactly. So, and I was expecting the answer that he gave because of that. I wonder how it would have changed if he won a title with the Kings or with the Run TMC Warriors, if he still would have felt that way. But when Kyle asked him that question, it did remind me. I was like, man, you really shouldn't view that as a not an accomplishment, but of course, you want to win when you're one of the key factors. Right. And like you said, he dribbled the clock out, but for the most part, he wasn't really a huge part of those Laker teams. So, I thought that was great and really excited to hear what Lionel Simmons and JT have on today. We also, I don't know if you guys heard or are going to play. Did you hear Zach Lowe talking about Keon Ellis?
Yes.
Thought that was really, really good audio. You had Zach pretty much saying he thinks that Keon's going to be in that 5th starter spot. I know you were early on the Keon Ellis hype train. How do you feel about that?
I took some arrows for that, too.
You did. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
I'll never
starter?
forget this because when you and I were doing a show together, and I guess I didn't know that much about him. I'd seen him in Summer League.
Yeah.
And when I saw him in Summer League, I thought, that guy can shoot. And then you and I were either talking on the air or maybe he was off the air.
Yeah.
And you said, boy, if he's a really good defender, if he can, learn to shoot, he's going to be a good player. And I thought, he can defend? This guy, he's going to be really good.
Yeah. And I think they talk about that as well. Like, it seems like it's legitimate. There's no reason, like, if you're going to go back and look at the numbers for Keon, he's been a 40% three-point shooter. He was a 40% three-point shooter in the G League. Was it last year in the small sample size he had? There's not really much reason to think that it was a fluke with Keon.
Right. And he's just got a classic basketball body. He's got
wingspan. He's got the
6'6",
height,
and he's got the length.
Yep,
and
very wiry. And he I don't know if you heard either. He sat with our friends Deuce and Mo as well.
Your friends, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. My friend. I know you and Morgan are friendly.
Right.
The other guy,
not
so much. So, and he spoke with him as well, or with them as well. Keon Ellis did, and I thought a lot of great things from there. Love to hear Keon just kind of elaborate more, and he had some great words for De'Aaron Fox and for his play against Steph Curry. Thought it was great to hear him kind of talk about the confidence that he gained playing in that play-in situation, and really saying I kind of don't care if Steph saw the night thing and if he has something for me, because I prepare myself every single day to be ready for those kind of things. So love to hear that.
Yeah, the best thing about football starting is that means we're that much closer to basketball.
Exactly. I was just saying that earlier today. I'm like, look, once we get through this weekend, we're like 2 weeks away from Media Day, September 30th. I cannot wait for Media Day right around the corner. Can't wait for Whitey and Drapes. The Drive guys, they're going to have Jason Thompson, Lionel Simmons on 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
Keep on Sabonis.